Very good afternoon and a warm welcome from Emirates Old Trafford. We are back again. We've already seen one fantastic game here at Old Trafford this afternoon. The Lancashire Lightning managing an 8-wicket victory over the Leicestershire Foxes. It was a steamrollering of a performance. Let's see whether we can see the Thunder team doing the same this afternoon against the Blaze here in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. It's a very special day here for everybody at Emirates Old Trafford. It's Powerplay Day because £1 from every ticket that is sold here this afternoon is going towards the Lancashire Foundation's initiatives to improve women's participation in the game of cricket. So do please support that if you possibly can. I'm joined, as per previously, by the club captain Keaton Jennings and Australian cricket journalist Mel Farrell. It's great to see you guys here again with us. Let's just briefly talk about that game we saw a little bit earlier on. That was some performance by the Lightning boys, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the boys played really well. They're clinical, high intense the way they went about their work today. Really good to get a couple of points and sort of enjoy a little bit of dressing room time, which you don't get much of during the season.
Mel, great to have this as a double-header today and see the women front and centre for the headlining slot this afternoon.
It really is, and I think it's, there's a lot of credit that should go to Lancashire for the fact that they're doing this, because we do often see that the women play first and the men play later on. So it's nice to switch it up a little bit. I know we've all got our little badges on supporting, celebrating women's sport even, but initiatives like this are great. We've seen the explosion of the interest in the women's game around the world, and to see it happen at domestic level is just brilliant.
And we've got two absolute stars of the women's game. Well, probably more than that in actual fairness, but Sophie Eccleston versus Nat Sciver-Brunt today, that's going to be a battle that we're all really looking forward to, isn't it?
Absolutely. They both know each other really well.
I think we might be just having a problem with the mics there.
With my mic.
It could be, there we
okay.
go. We'll share this one, me and Kate.
We'll share the talking stick. We've become good friends this afternoon. Yeah, obviously they know each other incredibly well, and that makes it all the more tantalising. I think Nat Sciver is just one of the best all-round players in the world. Sophie Eccleston, a dream of a bowler. I've noticed too, I've seen on social media that she's been training with the guys as well, which has been really great to see. But I'm also really excited to see Mahika Gaur play for Lancashire. She is, for me, the most exciting prospect in women's cricket anywhere in the world. So she's going to be there, 6'3", I think she is. She even makes Keaton look small. So, that's going to be pretty exciting to see her as well.
Tell us a bit about her, because 17 years of age, as you say, so 6'3". She does look like an amazing, immense talent. She's still at school, though.
She is at Sedbergh. I think she's the first girl to represent or play for the first team up there as well. There's been a big buzz around her for a while, and I know Keaton can talk a bit more to this as well, because he was there when Lancashire discovered her. But I was in the UAE last year for the first Fairbreak tournament. Didn't see her play in that, but everybody I spoke to said, you've got to watch this kid. She is amazing. She's got everything, not just the height. You don't see the height, that kind of height in the women's game so much. So she's just able to employ that, and the ball comes from a different angle than what the women are used to facing. So yeah, she is super. But yeah, you were there, weren't you, Keaton, when Lancashire discovered her?
Yeah, we were. It was in support of Emirates and around the Expo 2020, and Mahika came down with the school, and she bowled quite quickly to a lot of the boys. Sort of made them jump around a bit, and obviously her height, the way she sort of got through her action was really impressive. And so credit to our CEO, really. He backed her and backed the sort of eyes of the cricket people that were around, and yeah, she is, which is quite exciting.
She's already picked up a couple of great nicknames as well, in 2-meter Mahika and Magic Mahika. So they're already starting, but that shows that she's getting stuck in, she's getting part of the team already. Absolutely.
Look, I think key for me, she's still really young. She's got to enjoy her cricket. It's a long career, and you've got to make sure that you love what you do. I think lumping a pressure on a 17-year-old with talent is one thing, but for me, from her point of view, she just needs to enjoy it and just go out, play, and just bowl, have some fun about it.
Disappointing result for Lancashire Thunder, first time around, losing that first game, but we've talked about this many a time before, haven't we? In terms of 2020, you get one win and all of a sudden momentum can really start piling on, can't it?
Absolutely. You just need a kick-start for the season, and then it can go on from there. And you can even have seen in various competitions like this, a WBBL in Australia, where teams have been down the bottom and they go vertical, as they like to say, and get that push on. So this is a huge game, and to have it at home, I think the players are really excited as well to be able to play under lights, which will provide a few perhaps new challenges that they don't get to face as often. But to play second, they're very aware, I think, of the gravitas that has as well. So I think they'll massively be up for this and look to get a big win on the board.
And Keaton, it hasn't been the best of starts for the women's team so far. They've had a lot of frustrations, I know, but they don't seem to have been there. It's been too far away from being a successful side this season.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I had a bit of a chat to Ellie a couple of weeks ago. They just are frustrated about not sort of turning over and winning those games. I suppose that comes with just playing and exposing yourself to these conditions, to playing more. And the women's game is growing. And that narrative around being lucky for certain opportunity, I think, is going to change and needs to change. The girls are deserving of this. They need to make sure that they enjoy these conditions and go out and have some fun.
Conditions-wise, could be interesting. Guys, thanks very much indeed for
Cheers.
joining me for the moment. Let's go over to the centre then, because the toss, by the looks of things, is going on at the moment. As you can see over my shoulder, Ellie Shrelkeld, the Lancashire captain, is just there with the umpires, and the coin is about to be tossed, and we'll decide who is batting and who is bowling. So 1 or 2 last-minute instructions. Let's go right up. Let's try not to step on the wicket itself, because obviously we don't want to do that, but let's go close in if we possibly can and see exactly what happens. Just a last few little instructions from the umpires just being given to the players just before we get towards the game itself. So looks like the sheets have been given over as well, so we know exactly who's going to be playing. We heard from Alex Hartley a little bit earlier on, and she was going off to join in with the warm-up. So looks like things are being talked about, which look a little bit serious. I'm just slightly worried, I have to say, by the cloud cover here this afternoon. So I think you guys are ready for the toss itself. So far, it has been a beautiful day, but particularly over the last couple of hours, the clouds have really come in. Could have an interesting effect on the way the game is played. So looks as though things have been agreed. Ellie just having a little look at the conditions. So we'll find out from her in just a second exactly what she's decided to do. It could be a big decision, this, as far as this is concerned. Let's bring the captain in, Ellie Shrelkeld. Ellie, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Ellie, first of all, what's the decision? What have you decided to do?
They won the toss and have put us into bat.
So how do you feel about that, given the fact there's a lot of cloud cover over here at the moment? I noticed you were having a good look at the sky. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, look, there's a few dark clouds, but yeah, pretty happy batting first. Don't think the pitch will change too much. So yeah, I think we're best when we try and set a total on the board and try and squeeze in the second innings. So I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
How tough a game is this going to be this afternoon? Because we know the Blaze have got some quality players, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely, but I think every game in this competition's a tough game, and anyone can beat anyone, and yeah, I'm confident that we can get a win today.
Unfortunately, not the way it went for your first game, but what are you doing in terms of changes for today?
Kate Cross comes into the side for Alex Hartley.
We wish you the best of luck. Ellie, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Go well.
Cheers, thank you
very much indeed there. Ellie Shrelkeld, who is, of course, the captain for the Thunder this afternoon, up against the Blaze here at Emirates Old Trafford. Can Lancashire make it 2 wins out of 2? Well, the men's side did a fantastic job earlier on, managing to get Leicestershire Foxes out for 99 all out before knocking off those runs in quick fashion. Just after the game, I managed to catch up with Saqib Mahmood, who took 3 wickets and was delighted with the win. Well done, congratulations. You take that microphone from me, my friend. Well done today. 3 wickets for you, but more importantly, a fantastic victory this afternoon.
Yeah, it was really good from the start. Sort of we read the conditions pretty quickly, and then communicated among the group, and that bowling innings, yeah, we just stuck with it.
The platform that was laid early doors from Wood and also de Grandhomme, that really set you going, didn't it? They were, what, 30 odd for 4 at that point. They were really on the back foot.
Yeah, look, obviously, even in the power play, sometimes it could be the nicest time to bat here, but we've got a bit of an attacking mindset, so we try to obviously pitch the ball up and see if we could get any lateral movement. Sort of pretty quickly found out that didn't work, and then as soon as we started to hit the wicket and change pace into the deck, it sort of worked for us, and then we stuck with that throughout. But that over from Woody sort of just changed the momentum especially in that power play, and then from then on, they couldn't quite get going.
And you mentioned the track. We could see there was plenty of bounce in there. I think there were 9 catches in total. That tells a real big story about what the conditions were like this afternoon.
Yeah, it was actually nice to bowl on. We were just chatting up there on some of the red ball wickets we've had here that have been slightly slower. So, yeah, to see the ball carrying through just meant you could sort of run in and let the handbrake off and really hit the deck hard.
And 3 wickets for yourself. Always nice to see in a game.
Yeah, look, I'm very happy. My first T20 game for Lancs in 2 years, nearly. So, yeah, to sort of come in and contribute and more importantly get the win as well is very nice.
And then to see the guys come out with the bat and knock it off in such fashion. Stephen Croft with a terrific performance as well, but it must give everybody a huge amount of confidence with the bat when they know it's a relatively small total to go after.
Yeah, look, I think obviously shouldn't go unnoticed. I think sometimes in games like this it can be quite tricky, especially if they pick up a few wickets at the start, but I just thought that power play killed the game off, and credit has to go to the top order for that, and Crofty especially sort of leading from the front with that after an early wicket.
2 wins from 2 now. That's the way to go about it, isn't it? Because momentum in this competition is going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a sort of good core in this squad as well. And games come thick and fast. We've got 2 more games in the next 4 days, so it'll be a sort of rest up tomorrow and then go again on Saturday.
And players to come back as well, because Josh Butler will be with us before too long.
You can't change your winning team.
Right, there's your mention there for you. So you'll be having words to make sure you don't change the winning team.
No, I never said anything. They come from me.
Saki, well done today. Congratulations. Terrific performance and well done today. Thanks very much indeed for...
Great insights there from Saki. Hello, we are back in the famous C stand with some lovely fans. Hello.
Hi.
How are you and where are you from?
Good. We're from Barrow and Furness.
Furness. What's your name?
Porter.
And is this your first time here at Emirates Old Trafford?
Yes, it is.
How does it feel to be here?
Good.
Nice. Who are you most excited to see today?
Livingston.
Okay. So now, he did play earlier. Did you catch him? And we actually have a fun fact, don't we, about your school?
Yeah. So Liam Livingston went to our school and he also went to Barrow Cricket Club and our town.
Very fun. What are you most excited for today?
Seeing the women probably, and the men, both of them, because we've never seen them.
Amazing. We'll have a good first trip to Emirates Old Trafford. Let's have a little look over here. Hello. Where are you guys from and what's all your names?
We're here from Manchester. Yep, and I'm Danielle. This is Luca. Hugo.
You look like you are enjoying your ice cream. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over your mouth. Are you managing to get any in your mouth? Lick it. Are you having a good day today? You getting a lot of treats? I mean, he's making me want a whippy. If that's not an ad for a Mr. Whippy, I don't know what is. And is this your first time here? I love that you're all kitted out there at the back. Yeah, are you ready for the game? Were you here a little bit earlier to watch the men's game as well? Amazing stuff. Okay, well, that's it from us in the C stand. We'll see you very, very shortly.
So, as you've heard, the toss has been made. The visitors have won the toss. They have decided to bat. So the Blaze will be batting, and this is how their team shapes up this afternoon. First of all, Tammy Beaumont, number 12. Number 23, Marie Kelly. Number 10, Nat Siver-Brunt. Number 4, Georgie Boyce. Number 17, Catherine Bryce. Number 3, Sarah Glenn. Number 32, Nadine de Klerk. Number 8, Sarah Bryce. Number 7, Lucy Hyam. Number 24, Kirsty Gordon. And number 1, Grace Ballinger. And your Lancashire Thunder team this afternoon line up as follows. Number 6, Emma Lamb. Number 39, Liberty Heap. Number 11, Naomi Ditani. Number 31, Fee Morris. Number 21, Ellie Threlkeld. Number 5, Deandra Dottin. Number 19, Sophie Eccleston. Number 16, Kate Cross. Number 23, Tara Norris. Number 65, Alex Hartley. And number 18, Mahika Gaur. So much to look forward to this afternoon, and we have some winners already, not only in terms of the men's team a little bit earlier, but also the souvenir draw has been made as well, the 25th of May that it is today. First prize going to number 766, that was a bat signed by both of today's teams. Second prize, a Jimmy Anderson framed montage, that went to winner number 703. And the third prize, 4 tickets for a Lancashire match at Old Trafford in 2023 or 24, went to number 163. And by the way, if you like the outfits that myself and Keaton are very beautifully modelling, I have to say, as well as all the Lancashire Lightning and Thunder kit, you can get it from the official club shop, which is just behind C Stand, which is over there, or you can get it online, of course, lancashirecricket.co.uk /shop. There's the England kit there as well, all the ODI and international stuff. And don't forget, England, of course, coming here to Emirates Old Trafford. We've got the Ashes Test coming up very, very soon, and of course we've got ODIs as well, so tickets flying out the door for that one, as you would expect. Everybody very, very much looking forward to that, as you can imagine, here at Emirates Old Trafford. But before that, of course, it's the Thunder against the Blaze here, and as we heard from Ellie there, just one or two concerns maybe about the fact that she'd lost the toss and the Blaze are going to be batting under these conditions. What would you think?
Yeah, to be fair, I'd probably want to bat first, if I'm entirely honest. I always think runs on the board at Emirates Old Trafford is a good place to be. Like I said in the first game, highest first innings runs generally wins a game. But at the end of the day, it's how you exploit it, like we've seen in the first game. If you go about your skill in a good, efficient manner, you can win batting or bowling first.
We saw it, didn't we, Mel, in the first game? You were saying that you thought maybe the ball was just a little bit sticky, perhaps, which was maybe creating one or two catching chances for the men's side. So hopefully the Thunder can capitalise on that as well.
Yeah, it can. You often find they're very different games too when you've got the men playing and the women playing as well, just the different skills that they have. Generally, I know we talked about how tall Mahika Gaur is and Sophie Eccleston as well, but a lot of them aren't necessarily as tall, so sometimes it might just, even though they're playing on the same ground the same day, you might see a quite different game. But yeah, just really exciting looking at those lineups. There's so many international players playing today. I think it's going to be really exciting just to see them all up against each other.
And because of that, because there are international rivalries at stake in many cases, do you think in some of these games, some of the players that maybe play with each other internationally every now and then, when they get the opportunity to play against each other in club cricket, does that add a little bit of extra for you, do you think?
It might do. I think that friendly rivalry certainly might come to the fore. I know I've heard players talk about desperately wanting to get their teammates out when they're playing. I mean, we saw here at Lancashire, didn't we, in the championship, Jimmy Anderson trying to get Stuart Broad out, and he fended him off. He threw the Nighthawk out the window when he just blocked and left beautifully. So you do see that when you get players there. But the number of international teams as well. I mean, you've got Nadine de Klerk there, who's played for South Africa, Deandra Dottin, who's a legend of the West Indies game. And you've got players in there from Scotland. So it's not just England as well. You've got a range of players different countries with international experience, bringing a lot to it. Tara Norris has represented the US, so it's a really quite an interesting mix, and I'm quite intrigued to see how it goes.
What about you, Keeson? What about the rivalries when you get international and teammates playing against each other in county sides? How does that affect things as far as you're concerned? Is there an extra bit of bit of banter that goes on?
There's definitely a little bit of needle that goes on. Goes on in the nets as well, which is just as much fun. But no, I think it does raise the stakes a little bit. You got the women coming back into a sort of county or franchise setup and competing against each other, and your skill sets are shown. You've got it live on streams all over the world, and you want to make sure you perform. You may be teammates and mates, but you want to make sure you do well. Obviously, that little bit of bragging rights in around the change room comes into it. But no, look, it's an exciting place to be when you're coming back playing high quality cricket against your mates.
We mentioned some of the big stars that are in this side. We've got Sophie Eccleston and Nat Severbrunt, the sort of battle that we're probably going to see between those two. Probably remiss of us not to mention Tammy Beaumont as well, because with the bat she's been absolutely superb, hasn't she?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because she's made probably more of an impression, I think, generally in one-day cricket and 50-over cricket rather than T20 cricket. But when she gets going in T20 cricket, I mean, she can be as aggressive. If she can get going quickly, then you might see her in full flight as well. But she brings a wealth of experience to this side too.
Yeah, Beaumont, again, as Mel was just saying there, when she's in full flight, she is something special to watch, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Mel was saying, you've got some cricketers in both sides with a lot of international experience around the world. And regardless of format, I'm a big believer of good players will stand up at the right time and perform. So for them to come out tonight at Emirates Old Trafford and do it under lights is really key. And those big players are the ones you want to perform when the pressure hits.
As we mentioned earlier, it's not been the best of starts for the Thunder or for the women's team as a whole as far as the season is concerned. They've had a lot of frustrations, but when you're on a stage like this, given an opportunity like this against a side like this, how big an opportunity is it for everybody involved to really put a marker down and say, right, this is where we really start the season?
It is a huge opportunity, but at the same time, it's a huge opportunity to have some fun and showcase your skills. So I think looking at it from a player's point of view, you want to make sure you, I suppose, frame it in a way that you can excel in these sort of tough times. You don't want to sort of look at the failure-based outcome. You want to look at what can happen. And what can happen is you entertain thousands of people at Emirates Old Trafford under lights and blow away a really highly experienced Blaze team. So I think that's the key. The girls seem fairly fired up and excited to be playing tonight. Obviously, there'll be a couple of butterflies in and around. That's part and parcel of professional sport. That's what you want to get up for in the morning. There's no butterflies in a lot of other arenas. You get that in front of packed houses. So look, it's an amazing time to be a sports person.
We can't wait, guys. For the moment, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We're getting set now for the Thunder against the Blaze coming up very, very soon. But just in case you need a little reminder, here's how the rules work.
Each match is played by two teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's one wicketkeeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. One over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team are scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
And we are back lovely fans. Hello, boys.
Hi.
What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Dominic and I'm from Whitefield, Manchester.
I'm Zach and I'm from Unsworth, Manchester.
Now, is it your first time here today?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be at Emirates Old Trafford?
Amazing. Good. Amazing.
Best, really good.
Brilliant atmosphere. Now, I have heard you are here on a school trip, aren't you?
Yeah.
Where are all of the rest of your friends gone?
I have no idea. No idea.
All the way playing the games.
What are you most looking forward to today?
Probably who's going to win this match.
I got a load of things.
Oh my gosh, yes! You've already got a ball signed, you've got a t-shirt signed. Okay, so let's have a look at the ball actually. Let's just have a little zoom in. Can we get a little zoom in? Amazing! There you go. If that isn't a sign to come down to our matches and make sure that you are getting these tickets whilst you can. Right, I'm going to have a little walk along and just say a little hello to everybody. Bye, boys. Thank you. Hello, hello. I've been seeing you guys here. What are your names and where are you from?
My name's Paul. Gary from Lim.
Nice. Is it a boys' day out today?
It is, yeah. We're actually celebrating our friend here, who unfortunately it was really poorly through COVID. He was in coma for 11 weeks. This is his first game since then, in 2020. So.
Oh, amazing! Are you glad to? I'm glad that you're here. You're having a good day.
He's having a very good day.
A good day out with the boys.
We're going to the footy tonight. We're Chelsea tonight as well. So.
Amazing. Is this? Well, this is not your first time at Emirates Old Trafford, is it?
We've been there many times, but Mark's not been for a long time. But we're going to Chelsea tonight. We're going to the FA Cup final as well. So.
Amazing stuff. Well, we hope you have a lovely day, and we're really glad that you're back with us. Okay, let's see who else we can have a little look at. Let's have a little look. Hello. I'm just going to creep up behind you all. How are you? What's your names and where are you from?
Bugby from Manchester.
Now, is this your first game at Emirates Old Trafford?
No, it's not.
Who are you here to see today? Who's your favourite player?
Oh.
You're here just to see the girls. Okay, what brings you here today? What do you like about the cricket?
I just like the sport.
Like the sport?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Okay, well, thank you so much. That's it from me in C-Stand. We'll be catching you guys a little bit shortly.
Yeah, it's really special. I've never had that as a player, never had our own changing room and my own locker, and walking in and seeing pictures of us on the walls and our values that we've come up together with as a team.
In that change room is a great example of why we started playing cricket and all the pictures of us from when we were younger, and it makes us feel like we're more at home with that change room.
Got send it written on the wall as you walk out to bat, so just sort of reminds us to kind of play without fear.
To have our own change room and our own home dressing. Team space is brilliant, it makes us feel like this is our home as well, alongside the men. So yeah, I think little touches really go a long way, and it really builds that togetherness with the team.
Cute guys. Oh, it's on the floor. Thunder. Big thunder.
Nice redneck.
That's me. That was the little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Oh, that's cute. That is cute. Play for her. Oh, Liberty.
Lancashire obviously I helped design it. Took a while. Quite stressful at times, but the fact it's done now, we've got our own space, we've got our faces in the change room. It's really exciting. We get to be there. It inspires us.
That's great, isn't it? Send it. Send it. There's more. Come on, let's get that. Look.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's just again the belief that Lancs give us to have the headline slot, which I know we got a few ups and ahs last year about it, but it just shows what the club's doing for us.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think any time we get to play here at Emirates Old Trafford is really special, and to have it in a double header, it's just really exciting. It's hopefully going to get a bit of a crowd in and gets a bit more interested in and around the women's game, which is exactly what we want.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. The fact that St Ash is here and the fact that we get to play here as our home ground is brilliant, and yeah, hopefully it inspires more younger players.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of credit to the club itself. I think, you know, they're really trying to even it out, and we're really like paving the way. And, you know, with us playing so many fixtures this year, I think it's a great sign for all women's cricket.
Oh, it's so exciting. I love playing here, love training here, and yeah, just it's growing rapidly. I don't think we had this many a couple of years ago.
I feel like it's just so exciting to have the opportunity to play that headline event as such, and Under the Lights is always a great game with different challenges, so I think we'll be really up for that one.
Yeah, definitely. I've not played much Under the Lights, but every time you do it, it's really special, and it's a brilliant atmosphere, and like I said, hopefully there'll be lots of supporters coming down to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant scheme, and obviously encourage people to buy more tickets, and yeah, it just shows the growth of women's sport, so it's brilliant.
Funding's just a huge issue for women's sport in general, so the fact that we've struggled in the past, but we've had that support of Lancs, the fact that we can then hopefully give something back and help those people who are also struggling, and it's really important to see other parts grow as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's kind of, you know, it sounds a bit cliche, but that's why we play the sport. It's to increase the participation, increase the growth, and increase the interest and inspire the next generation, as they say, and you know, the more we can do to support that, the better.
Ladies and gentlemen, Emirates Old Trafford, please welcome to the field your umpires this afternoon, Mr. Ashraf and Wazeem. And please welcome this afternoon's visitors, the Blaze.
Ten,
9,
8,
7, 6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
1!
Ladies and gentlemen, Emirates Old Trafford, please welcome Lancashire Thunder! And your opening batters this afternoon, Emma Lamb and Liberty Heap.
So here we go, second match of the double header, then live from Emirates Old Trafford here on Lancs TV, the BBC Sport website and app, and 5 Live Sports Extra. And now we see Thunder against the Blaze. So from a purely biased point of view, we're kind of wanting 2 wins from 2 for our home team. Scott Reed, Faith Lawrence and Paul Horton with you for the first part of this commentary here on Lancs TV and 5 Sports Extra. We're going to see Gordon to open up the bowling from this Brian Statham end, with Emma Lamb on strike for Thunder. We'll have a little natter about how the competition has started, what these 2 teams have been like so far. Very, very early days, but see, we'll have a little look at the 2 teams and what we're going to look forward to here. But the game's underway with Emma Lamb looking to try and cut the ball away through the offside, but picked up at backward point. And there is no run. So, Faith, you've watched an awful lot of the Charlotte Edwards Cup over previous seasons, and at the early stage of this campaign as well, as Gordon bowls around the wicket, and that's driven firmly down the ground by Emma Lamb. And the first runs for Thunder, with a slight misfield down below us, and Lamb comes back for 2. How would you assess, Faith, and good afternoon to you, these 2 sides coming into this game?
Good afternoon, Scott. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Always exciting to be here at Emirates Old Trafford for the Charlotte Edwards Cup.
I think both sides are really going to fancy this one. Both have 2 different points to prove.
It's Gordon balls again, and that's defended by Lamb, and there's no run.
For the Blaze, they've started really well this season, and they're going to want to continue this momentum. They're really riding a high wave, and for the Thunder, they're still looking for their first win in the competition. Being at home.
There's Kirsty Gordon balls. Down the pitch comes Leap. Ow! And chipped right up towards mid-off, and Emma Lamb's gone. It's a really, really big blow, that, for the Blaze, to have dismissed Emma Lamb so early on in the piece, chipping it up to mid-off, and Thunder lose their first wicket.
I was just going to say, they're really going to want to get going, you know, and maybe that first early wicket is just a sign of that real enthusiasm, maybe almost that desperation to really get going and get a win on the board. Emma Lamb's such a strong batter, strong opener for Thunder for so long. And for England as well, would really have wanted to put on a good show there, and perhaps that shows the intention of Thunder during this game, to get the team going, get a good score on the board and get their first win.
Well, that is a significant breakthrough, isn't it, for the Blaze to make inside the first over. Arguably, like Thunder's best batter.
Yes, arguably, absolutely, but there's still plenty of batting to come, and you know, we see Deandra Dottin striding up to the crease now, perhaps a little bit earlier than she would have fancied, but just an example of how much batting strength there is in this Thunder side. And you know, it's been confusing for some. They've been flummoxed as to why Thunder haven't really got going yet, because the likes of Deandra Dottin and Liberty Heap, who can give it a really good whack as well, you would fancy to take them deep in this competition.
Well, Deandra Dottin's a new batter out to join Liberty Heap, who's at the non-strikers end. Will negotiate these final 2 deliveries of the first over. It's been a bit of a lively start with a wicket of Emma Lamb caught at mid-off and by Maria Kelly. And Thunder will be hoping that they can just have a little period of calm, but they've got some experience there. Be hard-pressed to find much more, really, in the shape of Deandra Dottin, who's on strike. Here comes Kirsty Gordon, left arm around the wicket, little flat of this delivery, and just dabbed away into the offside by Dottin, and picked up at backward point, and there is no runs. So 2 for 1 with 1 ball left. A reminder, if you missed the team news a little bit earlier on, and I will run through the 2 teams for you in full. The Blaze, they won the toss, elected to have a bowl first as Dottin plays forward in defence, and there's no run. That's the end of the first over, 2 for 1. So just kind of putting it into a bit of context, Faith, in terms of these 2 teams. They say it's very early days this year in terms of the Charlotte Edwards Cup, but on paper, how would you assess kind of the 2 teams, how they're matched up?
You know, on paper, looking through both squads, you know, you'd probably say, okay, the Blaze look perhaps the more well-rounded, more balanced squad. They've got a real blend of international talent there. You know, you see the likes of Nat Siver and Tammy Beaumont, Nat Siver Brunt, excuse me, Tammy Beaumont, and they've got the Bryce sisters from Scotland, Kirsty Gordon, former bowler for England. So they've really got really good balance, and you've also got quite good balance in the Thunder squad as well. But they haven't quite lived up to the sum of their parts so far. When you see Deandra Dottin, Emma Lamb, as we've seen, who's just got out, Tara Norris, who's moved over from the very successful Vipers squad. She'll be looking to get some wickets today for sure. Ellie Threlkeld, many consider the best wicket keeper after Amy Jones, and could be the successor if she gets going with her batting. Sophie Eccleston, of course, everyone knows what she can do. So quite well matched sides, to be honest, on paper.
It will be Grace Ballinger to open up from the James Anderson end, with Liberty Heap on strike. The ball just comes back in towards her, and she defends up towards mid-on, and there is no run. 2 for 1 as we start the second over of the game. When you look down those names that you mentioned, and I'll run through the 2 teams in full now. Emma Lamb, who's out already inside the first over of the match. Liberty Heap, Deandra Dottin, Ellie Threlkeld, Fee Morris, Sophie Eccleston, Danny Collins, Naomi Tatani, Kate Cross, Tara Norris, Mahika Gaur, who's a real find for Thunder, young fast bowler. As Heap looks to try and carve the ball away, but a play and a miss, and through to the keeper, and there's no run. And the Blaze have Maria Kelly, Tammy Beaumont, Nat Siver Brunt, Sarah Bryce, Catherine Bryce, Georgie Boyce, a former Thunder player, Sarah Glenn, Nadine de Klerk, Lucy Hyam, Kirsty Gordon, the skipper, and Grace Ballinger, who is bowling right now the second over of the of the match into to Heap, and that's a thick edge down towards deep third, where it's fielded by Georgie Boyce, and Heap gets through for a single and moves the score on to 3-1. There are some real standout names across both sides, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and Thunder supporters will be really excited this year about the addition of Mahika Gaur to the squad, and Tara Norris, as I mentioned, Fee Morris as well. Both really good all-rounders who should be able to, when the side's in trouble, will be able to steady the ship a bit and score some late-order runs.
The Charlotte Edwards Cup is just a couple of games in for this year's competition. This is game number 2 for both of these two sides. As Ballinger bowls to Dottin. Oh, it's single as a no ball. It came back in sharply towards Deandra Dottin. And the umpire signaling a no ball, just overstepping Grace Ballinger. Score moves on to 4-1, but for what it's worth, the table as it stands, the Northern Diamonds have played 2 and won 2 with 8 points on the board. Southern Vipers played 1 with 1 victory. The Central Sparks played 2, won 1. The Blaze have played 1 and won 1. Western Storm played 2, won 1. Thunder have played 1 and lost 1. It's 2 defeats from 2 for the South East Stars and 1 defeat from 1 game for the Sunrisers, who are bottom. The Northern Diamonds are top with 8 points and 4 points clear of the chasing pack. Here's Ballinger in to Deandra Dottin. She gets plenty of that, hammers it over mid-off, 1 bounce and up towards the boundary for 4 runs, and she's underway in great style.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, when people have come to this match on form, they'll be expecting that perhaps the Blaze, with the way that they've been bowling, could make short order of the Thunder batters, but clearly Deandra Dottin has something else to say about that. And Thunder put a really good total in their last game, so I think if they can bat through this fearsome bowling attack, then they've got a good chance.
Ballinger to Dottin. And that's jabbed away into the offside, and there's no run. With Deandra Dottin, you get quite a bit of experience, don't you? It's 143 one-day internationals, 127 T20 internationals. So you're signing an overseas player with vast amounts of experience and quality.
Absolutely, and she joined the squad last year, so she's really familiar with the setup and with everybody at Thunder. So this is now the year for her to really step things up, I think.
They've positioned extra fielder on the leg side boundary, so a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg, and it's just flicked away off the hip by Deandra Dottin out towards deep square leg. And Catherine Bryce comes up to complete the fielding. That's the end of the second over. 9 for 1, 2 overs gone. Thanks to Faith. She'll be back with us a little bit later on. Faith Lawrence with us here on Lancs TV. Paul Horton is alongside me as well. We might hear a little bit from Keaton Jennings through the course of the afternoon. Paul was watching the first game of this T20 doubleheader. I wonder whether the two captains will have looked what happened in that first match, Paul, and will have an idea perhaps how the pitch is playing at the very least.
I think definitely have an idea of how the pitch is playing, but whether they're going to change their approach to what they deliver out there, I'm not sure. They've opened with left-arm spin, so if they notice the first game, obviously there was less spin bowled initially up top. Obviously that was a tactic to open the first over was left-arm spin. There's now been a change of bowling for the third over. It seemed to work. 1 for 2. So it was, got a wicket of Emma Lamb, which I thought was a strange dismissal. Really, it didn't look like she went through with the shot. It was caught mid-off. It was quite a tame ending, I think, for a talented player. But hopefully Dottin can get going here for the Thunder.
Siva Brunt coming into the attack. Oh well, talk about getting going. There's an example of it. Stand and deliver from Deandra Dottin. Hammered up and over extra cover for 4 runs.
She's shown obviously the last over when she cleared mid off. It was a free hit. She had a chance to free her arms to get her momentum going. But that ball just shaped a little bit from Siva Brunt there, shaped away, created a little bit of width, and Dottin over wideish mid off cover. Lovely striking and a lovely cricket shot. It seems to be over cover. It's a beautiful cricket shot.
Field on the offside is all inside the ring. Cleared that and then some. Play back towards the bowler on the full, I think. Nat Siva Brunt leaping away to her left, just trying to get something on it. One of those return chances that, if they stick, they can look really spectacular. I think she got her fingertip to it.
Yeah, just sort of ballooned a bit. She held a bit, or he's got one fingertip of a left-hand dive. It would have been an incredible return catch.
Yeah. Been a terrific catch off her own bowling, and she stuck with that. That's drilled to mid-off. Firm-looking shot from Deandra Dottin. Straight to at mid-off. Kirsty Gordon having to get everything behind that to stop the ball. It was hit firmly. She's on 9, Deandra Dottin. Thunder are 13 for 1. We're halfway through the third over of this contest. Live from Emirates Old Trafford.
Some field changes here. Third man's come up. There's a deep backward square leg and a long on. Interesting field, considering the way Dottin is looking to go over the offside. I find it's an interesting tactic.
Dottin kind of hops to the leg side, tries to carve the ball away through the off, but a play and a miss through to the keeper, no run.
See the slower ball there, but Silverbrunt really, really well bowled. But Dottin looks like she's strong, opening up to the offside. He's gone over mid-off twice. To lose mid-on, I think is an interesting call. You're going to have to really tight on your lines here. Wanting to be hit into the leg side. You got 5 up in the ring on the offside. Doesn't give you much room outside off stump.
Silverbrunt from the Brian Statham men in and bowls just outside off stump, and Dottin trying to force the ball away, but a ring of fielders inside the circle on the offside. Can't get it past point, and there's no run. 13 for 1. Dottin on 9 from 11 balls faced. First home match of this year's Charlotte Edwards Cup for Thunder, having been on their travels last weekend in Taunton, but losing that opening fixture. Dottin just ducks underneath a short ball, actually, from Silverbrunt through to the keeper, and there's no run. Well, aside from that glorious extra cover drive from Deandra Dottin for 4, and the only runs off the over. Dot balls the response from Nat Silverbrunt. We've had 3 overs of the game, and Thunder are 13 for 1.
It was, to be honest, Silverbrunt there, it was really clever bowling in the end. She bowled 2 slower balls and then changed the field again, had a deep backward square leg and a deep mid wicket, and used the pace and bounces in this surface here at Old Trafford today. We've obviously seen the men use it in the middle of the wicket in their first game. To use the middle of the wicket, to be hit to the longer boundary, square of the wicket. Dottin got under the ball, so a really good finish to the over. So it showed her experience and her understanding of the surface. So it was really, really good.
Well, another example of the international quality that we've got on show today. 108 T20 internationals and 94 one-day internationals and 8 test matches for Nat Silverbrunt. And excellent bowling in the power play too, of course. Good start this by the Blaze. 3 overs gone. Thunder 13 for 1. There's Liberty Heap trying to drive the ball away off the back foot and up towards wide mid-off. Shuffles through for a single. Kirsty Gordon, the skipper for the Blaze, does stop the ball but can't deny the run. Score moves on to 14 for 1. Brings Deandra Dottin back on strike, and again instantly the 2 fielders out towards the leg side boundary. All located on the rope at deep mid wicket and deep backward square leg. There's Grace Ballinger, a slightly angled approach. And in and bowling to Dottin. Oh, she's bowled him. It's a really good delivery. No wonder Grace Ballinger peels away in celebration. It's a lovely ball to beat a very, very good batter in Deandra Dottin. It's a big blow again for the Thunder. 2 key wickets to 4 in the power play. The Blaze have reduced the Thunder to 14 for 2.
A no ball, a free hit, that went for 4, but she's got 1.2 overs, 1 for 8. What she has done is she swung the new ball back. Swung back through the gate. Dottin looks like she wants to hit through the offside. Her scoring shot through that innings, mid-off, over mid-off. The ball swinging back, left arm, that angle, and swinging back through the gate is a really nice piece of bowling. And a real shame for the home side here.
Yeah, well, especially with the 2 key batters. I reckon if you give them the Blaze the chance and try and pick up a couple of wickets in the power play, the 2 names that they've got out are probably the 2 key ones that they'd want. Lamb certainly, who's seems to be in good form, season in, season out for years now, and they're the big experienced overseas player, Deandra Dottin. Tons of international cricket under her belt, and well, you're looking in good form, but both have gone. So the Blaze starting superbly with the ball. Grace Ballinger, 1 for 8. In she comes. Ellie Threlkeld, the skipper's out there now, just following a ball that's just held back, I think, a fraction by Ballinger. Applause from the keeper, Sarah Bryce. I'm not surprised. And this is really clever bowling, Paul, by Grace Ballinger.
Yes, but what she's done is she's swung the ball. So whenever you're moving the ball, you've got a chance and you're in the game. So she's held her length and she's given the ball a chance to swing. She's pitched it up, and she's bowled really well. She hasn't bowled a great deal of bad stuff, if I'm really honest with you. She's bowled really nicely, but it's a swing that's been the key.
In again to Threlkeld, who's hopping back into the crease and pushing away into the offside. And there's no run. The action of the left arm as well, especially if you can get the ball to swing, like Grace Ballinger's at the minute, with it being the left arm angle as well, that poses an extra challenge to the batters.
It's just different, I think. And what left arm does to right-handed batters is if you swing it back, there's no width, so the ball swings back onto the stumps.
Slip in place. It's a full ball, driven nicely by Threlkeld, not picked up cleanly by Kirsty Gordon at mid-off, and Threlkeld can come back and run 2, so she's up and running, and the Thunder move on to 16 for 2.
Yeah, so ultimately in T20 cricket you want to bowl and hold on your off stump, middle stump. The spinners one that don't leave the stumps a great deal. Anything is in width in T20 cricket, in any cricket really, but in T20 cricket, bowling wide of off stump just, you're not really going to get anyone out, and you just create width for the batter. So left arm swinging back.
As it does again, coming back in towards Threlkeld, who does well to bring the bat down and keep it out. No run. End of the over. And wicket in the over. Deandra Dottin, 3 runs conceded. But a really good start by Grace Ballinger. 2 overs, 1 for 10. 16 for 2, 4 overs gone. Threlkeld 2 and Heap on 2. Live here on Lancs TV. 5 Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website and app. It's the Charlotte Edwards Cup between Thunder and the Blaze. Scott Reed and Paul Horton with you at the minute. We've got Faith Lawrence with us as well. We'll hear from Kevin Howes, and I think Keaton Jennings might join us for a little bit as well through the course of the next hour or so as well.
It's a number of people who are joining us.
Healthy squad.
That's it, healthy squad. We've got a healthy squad, good rotation.
Yep, good rotation. Yep.
Of commentators today. Be interesting to see what the Thunder, what is a good score. I don't think we've got an idea of what a good score is in the first game. 99 clearly wasn't. So it'd be interesting to see what a good score is in here in the second game. What the Thunder can post and whether we think that's competitive enough.
Well, they've got some canny bowlers, haven't they, the Thunder? But it's whether they've got something to work with. Sarah Glenn coming into the attack to Liberty Heap, just trying to work the ball away to mid-wicket, but deflects back down the pitch and there's no run. 16 for 2. Heap on 2. There's Glenn in and bowling. Again, Heap trying to work the ball away to the leg side, and there's no run.
A bit lucky there. So Glenn, his leg stump, half volley. He's been a bit lucky his first couple of balls.
In again with a leg spin. There's a Heap tries to drive the ball away. It's gone past the stumps, past the keeper, down to the boundary. What's it gone down for? It's gone for 4. Little thin inside edge. Heap moves on to 6. 20 for 2. Bowling leg spin in the power play. Ain't easy. And quite got it just right at the minute.
To be fair, she's really unlucky there. It's a slight inside edge. How Heap wasn't bowled, I have no idea. It basically looked like she missed one and went for 4, but she obviously got a faint inside edge and it just went past the leg stump and away for 4. And hopefully that kicks her, kicks her innings off and running a little bit here. The Thunder need to get a little bit of momentum going into their batting performance now.
20 for 2. Glenn bowls full toss in the air by the time that Heap connects with it, trying to swat it away towards mid-wicket. It just disappears down back with a square on the leg side. Liberty Heap moves on to 7. Thunder move on to 21 for 2. It brings Ellie Threlkeld, their captain, on strike. We've got Sarah Glenn bowling A leg spin from the Brian Statham end. Got a deep mid-wicket and a deep point, the two outside the circle. It's a fuller ball by Glenn. Throw called drives away into the onside. It's picked up at mid-on. And there is no run. It's a final ball for Glenn. Pulled it back after a couple of slightly shaky deliveries which weren't quite on the mark to begin with. The rest of the over has been good. She's been undone by a bit of a misfield there because that's off the back foot and punched away through cover for a single, but probably should have been stopped inside the circle. In the end, Lucy Hyam coming round to complete the fielding. So 5 overs gone, 22 for 2. Threlkeld on 3, Heap on 7. And after quite getting the first couple right in that over from Glenn, came back nicely, I think, Paul.
Yeah, a tough ask to bowl leg spin in the power play. I think she was a bit unlucky in the end to go. Unlucky at times, maybe. Obviously, missed out a couple of leg stump half volleys up front. Yeah, inside edge for 4 was unfortunate. It was a nice delivery from her, and a misfield at the end. You know, when the ball should have gone for a dot. So she's a little bit unlucky, but 22 for 2 after 5. I think the Blaze will be comfortable with the Thunder are. There hasn't been a blistering start. We came out of the power play without too much damage, and then obviously look to squeeze in the middle period.
Well, you almost kind of want to get through the over, don't you, now, without too much further damage done. There's always that horrible stat lurking about losing wickets in power play. So Ballinger's going to bowl third on the spin here. I'm not surprised. She's bowled really well. In comes Grace Ballinger and bowls again. That swings back in towards Threlkeld, nudged away into the onside. And underarm throw towards the stumps at the bowler's end.
Yeah, she's been really impressive, and she's still swinging this Kookaburra ball. I would say it's a Kookaburra ball. So she's still swinging this ball 6 overs in her third over. It's quite impressive that. I haven't seen anyone else swing it today as much as she has. She's quite long on the ball with the delivery, so she gets good shape back. She's really been impressive up front here.
In again. Little bit of width there for the first time, and Threlkeld drives away through the covers. It's a big old boundary that out towards the hotel. They might even think of 3. Well, they perhaps should really try and see if they could squeeze a 3 out. We saw quite a few 3s run in the earlier game, but settled just for 2 there. Threlkeld moves on to 5, 24 for 2.
I think you're being kind there.
Okay.
If she gets run out from 60 metres away.
Yeah, this 3, isn't it? This 3, there's definitely 3.
It's a good throw.
Yeah, definitely 3. Threlkeld. Oh, just following that ball. It's through to the keeper. There's no run.
Really nice bowling again. She's held her length here. She hasn't been frightened when she's been driven. Obviously, the previous ball was driven through the covers. She's still gone fuller again, and the ball just slightly ran across. Threlkeld there. Didn't shape back as much, but she's been really good up front here. She's been positive. She's trying to take wickets. It's been a really nice start here in Ballinger.
It has, yeah. 1 for 12 so far, halfway through a third. Back into Threlkeld. That's muscled away through mid-wicket to the right of short mid-wicket, out towards the boundary. That's timed nicely. That's 4. Tammy Bowman's in that position at short mid-wicket inside the circle. Went to her right-hand side, kind of shuffled away off the hip by Threlkeld.
It's a really nice shot. She just lost her length a little bit there, Ballinger. A little bit short, and Threlkeld could get underneath it and pull it into the leg side. Lovely shot, actually.
28 for 2. See if Thunder can end the power play with a little bit of momentum. Ballinger balls again. Forward goes Threlkeld in defence. The ball deflects away into the covers, and there is no run. 28 for 2 then. Threlkeld on 9 and Heap on 7. It's the second of our T20 double header today, having watched Lancashire Lightning beat the Leicestershire Foxes in the T20 Blast. You know, watching the Charlotte Edwards Cup between Thunder and the Blaze. And Grace Ballinger bowling a very, very good opening spell in the power play. 3 overs on the spin. Perhaps. And she's in again and bowls to Threlkeld. Again, that comes back in towards her and ends with a dot ball. I was about to say, I wonder whether she can get out of the over with a dot ball, and she has done. I don't think she'll bowl 4 on the spin. She might. But I think that's a really good 3-over opening spell from Grace Ballinger.
I think with this still swinging and an opportunity, I don't see why not.
Right.
It depends on other bowling opportunities, I guess, and what else they got and how they want to play it. But ball's still swinging. Why not give her another chance to knock over? Unless they've got other, don't they need her at the end to bowl some, some finishing, some death stuff. But yeah, her field in that finishing last ball, her field was a little bit better, I thought. The third man up and a deep mid wicket. Yeah, with the ball swinging back. She's more likely to be pulled into the leg side or clipped through the leg side than she is run to third man. Especially probably at her pace in effect. So she, so that field with the deep backward square, deep mid wicket, and Siva Brun had moved from slip into mid wicket as well. It covers, her out for the batter is covered there, in my opinion. And if they look to hit it through third man, then brilliant. She's bringing the ball back from left arm over the wicket.
Kirsty Gordon brings herself back into the attack. Left arm round the wicket, forward goes Liberty Heap in defence. And there is no run, just pushed away into the offside. And the score remains at 28 for 2 as we get into the 7th over of the game. Heap on 7. Here's Gordon in and bowls to Heap. And that's driven down the ground just for a single. Moves on to 8, 29 for 2. So we're out the power play. Fielding restrictions have been relaxed. So we've got a few extra fielders dotted around the boundary edge. Where we got them? Long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg, and out on the point boundary as well. Here comes Gordon to Ellie Threlkeld, who goes back and plays it back down the pitch, and fielded by Kirsty Gordon off her own bowling. And there's no run. Paul Horton's left us for a wee while, and Keaton Jennings is alongside me.
Hello, Scotty. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Yeah, here's Gordon to Threlkeld. That's played back down the pitch on the bounce to the bowler, and there's no run. Having lost a couple of wickets in the power play, important partnership now, you think, for the Thunder.
Absolutely, and you can see the pressure just starting to build on Ellie here, for those that are watching on YouTube, on Lancs TV.
It's off the back foot and sliced away up through the offside. Nice shot.
It's a great shot. Just rocking back, nice quick feet, and just knocked the ball back 2 points left. It'll ease the sort of nerves in Ellie's tummy, no doubt. It'll hopefully settle her down and just sort of get her flowing nicely.
Beautiful shot. Yeah, 4 runs to Ellie Threlkeld. Captain out in the middle for the Thunder. Moves the score on to 33 for 2. 13 from 15 balls faced. We've got skipper to skipper here with Kirsty Gordon in and bowling to Threlkeld. It'll shuffle down the pitch and drives to mid-off. It's picked up by Sarah Glenn, and there's no run. That's the 7th over of the innings done. 33 for 2. 2 big blows, losing Emma Lan and Deandra Dottin at the top, but a little partnership developing here for the Thunder now.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer you stretch this sort of partnership for, you take the game towards the sort of back end of the innings, and hopefully you can get the ball away. There's quite a big ground here at Emirates Old Trafford. Into the corners can be really long. You saw the shot Ellie played earlier through cover. Just seemed to keep rolling away and just kind of never really got to the boundary. So they haven't come in that far from the men's game, probably only 5 metres or so. And the men think it's quite a big field, so it's I can promise you now it's a big surface.
Yeah, it's a surface we've been. Well, I'm a bit sad, but I quite like when I see people run 3. I get excited with 3s. I need to get out more.
Yeah,
I do, don't I? I do. We saw quite a few 3s earlier in the day. 33 for 2. Heaps on strike. Sarah Glenn back in with a leg spin. That's driven up towards long off for a single. Score moves on to 34 for 2. Heap moves on to 9.
So much I could reply to that, Scotty. I'll leave it there.
No, you're too polite. You're too polite to stitch me up too much. Throw called on 13. He's on strike. That's play back down the pitch, and there's no run. I almost like that as much as I do a maiden over in T20 cricket, which we saw earlier on today.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, it's I suppose one of those. I don't even want to say unique things to cricket.
Down comes Threlkeld and works the ball through mid-on and gets through for 1, moves on to 14, 35 for 2. We don't see it, do you, that often?
No, I don't think you should see it that often.
No, you shouldn't. Perhaps not.
But somehow you made it seem interesting, Scotty. I'll leave that one with you.
I think that's in the job description. Keep trying to work the ball away to the onside. A little bit of confusion here. Throw towards the bowler's end. Well, they kind of flirted with the idea of a single, decided against it, and I think ultimately went for it. In the end, it became a rather risky-looking single.
There's a bit of yes-no waiting in the middle of the wicket. Both put the handbrake on at one point and then try to start up again. Yeah, it's a massive worry when you're batting and you and your partner don't look at each other and suddenly you look up and your mate's right next to you. So glad they're both still in the partnership keeps going.
36 for 2. Glenn bowls. Threlkeld drives. Ball bouncing down the pitch. And scooped up by Maria Kelly. Takes Ellie Threlkeld on to 15 not out. Score moves on to 37 for 2. 1 ball left of the 8th over. And here's Glenn to Heap. That's turned out towards square leg. And there's no run. Dot ball, 8 gone at 37 for 2. Threlkeld on 15 and Liberty Heap on 10 here on Lancs TV. And the BBC Sport website and the App and 5 Sports Extra live from Emirates Old Trafford in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the second of this T20 double-header. Watching the Thunder take on the Blaze. What was the feeling downstairs and at the end of the game? Pretty happy dressing room, I'm sure, Keaton, after the first match?
Yeah, boys are really happy. I think when you win in that sort of fashion, the boys are really chuffed and happy, and it's not a relief, but it's a really sort of calm place to be, because you've executed well, and you know you've done what you came to do today, and you've done it really well, and you enjoy a beer in and around the environment, or soft drink, and
happy days. There's Threlkeld driving to mid-off. Glenn fields. They do get through for a single. Moves on to 16. The score ticks along to 38 for 2.
And obviously the conversations in and around the change room stay really positive. Generally the lads are really positive anyway when you win or lose, but I suppose everyone's a little bit more relaxed after you have had a victory like that, and you can communicate and feed back really nicely with each other.
And Gordon to Heap. It's driven, but Glenn is at mid-off to field, no run. 38 for 2 it remains. So yeah, the home supporters are looking for a T20 double today. Hopefully the Thunder can back up what the Lightning did a little bit earlier on. Heap gives herself some space and hits the ball back where it came from, down the ground. Scooped up by de Klerk, who comes up from the boundary. Score moves on to 39 for 2. Heap moves on to 11 not out. Kirsty Gordon bowling her 3rd over. 1 for 9 her figures so far. And Threlkeld back on strike. Gordon in and bowls. Driven down the ground. Back to Kirsty Gordon. And there's no run. Pretty tight stuff, this. Just 2 off the over so far. With 2 balls remaining. Threlkeld waits. Then sweeps.
I was just going to say, I wonder how long it'll be before Ellie turns to a sweep. A lot of the square fielders are up, and Ellie's got down on 1 knee and swept it away. But I think when you look at the field that has been set, there's been a lot of your boundary option is sort of that side of the ground. And you see a lot of the men, when you're at Emirates Old Trafford, because the surface can be a little bit slower, sweeping is a really good option to try and get your boundary away. Obviously, Kirsty's had her sweep fielders, her deep backward square leg, her 2 people or 2 fielders behind point. Those gaps have been open. So to see Ellie take that option is really exciting.
Lovely sweep shot for 4, isn't it? Moves on to 20. It'll shuffle down the pitch and drives through the offside for a single this time. And keeps the strike as well. The Thunder skipper moves on to 21 not out. So 9 overs gone. We're almost at the halfway stage. 44 for 2. There is a partnership which has been put together here. Having lost 2 wickets early in the power play, the Thunder have responded nicely. 44 for 2 after 9. A few thoughts, Keaton, from you. And then it will be Kevin House.
Yeah, so I think probably just going back to that first point, I think when you see a lot of spin being played, your top players of spin generally will manipulate the length by using either their feet to get down the wicket or to sweep and sort of put the pressure back on the spinner in order to either go quicker into the surface or to go slower, and then that allows you to again use your other tactic of either coming down or sweeping depending on what your strength is. I think it was lovely to see Ellie in the last over get down on 1 knee, sweep and put a little bit of pressure back on Gordon.
Hello again, everyone. You know,
it may be pressing on into the day, but I think it's getting lighter and brighter, which is good because it's been funny all day weather-wise. It's been
always
heavy.
sunny up here, Kev. It's God's country, mate.
Hey, don't joke. The other week, the only place where we could find any cricket for 2 or 3 days was Cardiff and Manchester.
Correct.
But here today, forget it. Today it's been just a bit strange, hasn't it? Been sort of quite heavy atmosphere, a lot of cloud around, bizarrely. But now it just seems to be lifting a little, and a little bit more blue sky to be seen, which is nice. For this latter part of the day, towards the end of May, we're up and running with the 2 T20 competitions. Vitality blast from earlier. And I see de Klerk bowling here for the first time in this match. We'll be bowling from the far end, the Jimmy Anderson end. Floodlights are still on, mind you. I guess they have to stay on throughout now, probably under the rulings. I mean, it's not bright in terms of the weather, but it's just feels a little bit lighter in terms of the skies. So de Klerk is in and bowls and worked away onto the onside by Threadkelder, and she'll move through for a single onto 22 from 24 balls in this 10th over of the Thunder versus the Blaze. It's funny that the Blaze seem to be sort of reinvigorated with the change of location and name. It seems to really work for them. Let's see what they can do here today, mind you, as we again await the delivery from de Klerk. A second, putting this time to Heap, and Heap will push that into the offside, beg your pardon, up towards extra cover, straight to the fielder, and therefore there'll be no run. How much chance do you get to see the Thunder then?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Probably not as much as we would like. I suppose we're just chatting downstairs. It's a sort of very different game in the sense of the way, the areas you try to access and the way you go about batting and bowling.
Heap is on 11, and she tries to power that one through, gets it past the fielder on the leg side, up towards long on. One more. She moves to 12, midway through the 10th, 46 for 2. In what way?
So I think just watching young Liberty Heap bat here, you've got one fielder behind square in the entire, or deep square if you want to call it 2, but you've got 2 fielders essentially behind square, and she's continuing to hit against the sort of flow of the game to where all the fielders
Next
are.
ball, and she's looking to ramp that. It could be LBW. It is LBW. Threadkelder's gone. She's gone for 22. It's a 3rd wicket down at 46 for 3 now in the 10th over. Looking to be a little bit funky out there, looking to be full of innovation. And I'm afraid it appears to be her undoing. Just take a look at this. Onto that back leg. Well, she's on her way. She doesn't seem to have made any error there. Probably disappointed with the fact that she just tried to be quite clever, and you know, often that can be rewarded.
Well, I was actually going to make that point about Liberty Heap. So the field changed slightly for Ellie, where deep square had come around to find leg. So essentially Ellie's trying to access an area of the ground where there's a fielder protecting it. So her risk in that shot is for 1, maybe 2 runs, where Liberty Heap had deep square legs. So the fielder's another 20 or 30 metres round the boundary, and her risk would have got her a boundary. And she continues to hit it against or to all the fielders. So I suppose from a batting point of view, it's being savvy really quickly to make sure you hit the areas of the ground where the fielders aren't. I know young Libs is still really young, so for her just sort of batting and being put under this sort of pressure is key, and making sure she sort of comes to the back end of it.
Indeed, but Threadkelder has gone, and it's a 3rd wicket down, and a wicket for de Klerk with just her 4th ball, so 1 for 2 so far, start of her spell. And it's Fee Morris who's coming in to join Liberty Heap here for the Thunder. And we just await the next ball, wait the music to stop, but maybe the music is waiting for the bowler. I hope the bowler's not waiting for the music. We could be here all night. Morris is facing, and this is in the air. Is it going to be safe or not? Falls just short of the fielder out there at deep mid-wicket. No wonder de Klerk just puts a hand on her head there. I think, is that Sever Bruntner was coming in there.
So just going back to that first point there, Kev, that's if you see where deep backward square leg is, she's a couple of metres behind square. So if Libs had to try the same shot Ellie's just tried, her risk in potentially hitting the ball gets her that boundary.
Heap is on strike now. She's on 12. It's aerial, but it's going to be okay. It's going to arrive rolling along the ground more or less up there as long on, and completes a very successful over for de Klerk. 1 over she's bowled, 1 for 4, 48 for 3 after 10 overs. Morris on 1, Heap on 13. Carry on your point there.
So my point was basically Libs is trying to hit the ball towards the fielders, so it's a very big playing area. Essentially what you want to try and do as a batter is hit the ball away from the fielders, and there's a massive space in the grounded fine leg for Libs to try and access, and then that allows, if she does access that ground, you take your risk. That then allows an area in front of square which is clearly stronger in accessing for her to access later. So I suppose it's that cat and mouse of being able to take the risk, get away with it. The correct risk, obviously. You're not just sort of pot luck and playing a shot because you feel like that's an option to take. It's you accessing the ground, the pace of the bowler, and then manipulating the field in order to try and work for you later on.
That's Siva Brandt is going to bowl her second over. She bowls it now and it's driven into the offside by Heap. It won't get past the fielder, or half parried, half stopped. Decent stop. So it stops any runs being scored. It remains at 48 for 3. Quick thinking. You've got to be on your toes, and that comes from experience, though, doesn't it?
Does it come from a few grey hairs as well?
Yeah, and losing sometimes, Keaton. This one's squeezed out. They'll go through for 1.
Comes from looking like a bit of a muppet at times, but then it comes off, and suddenly that confidence grows in, I suppose, your own ability and in your own skill set, in your limit as well, in your capability, and you learn what you can and can't do. That's why I say young Liberty Heap, it's good for her to be put under this pressure now in front of a crowd at Emirates Old Trafford, and feeling this intensity.
It's Morris facing at the moment, and that's hammered away. That's a lovely shot through mid-wicket. Gosh, that has flown, and then races along the ground over the boundary. That's 4 runs. Oh, if we get a bit more of this, it'll be interesting. Morris moves to 5. Gosh, she picked up that really, really well. Lovely shot.
It's a great shot. Good clean swing of the bat. Lovely strike off the bat as well. There's lovely sort of big double glazing. Not often you can hear the sound off the bat, but that made a lovely crack.
It did. It did. Siva Brandt midway through this over, in again, a little shorter and maybe slower that time. Maybe took a bit of pace off, and therefore Morris was perhaps through the shot just a little bit too early, but it's just up and over the top of the bat through to the keeper.
It's an underrated ball, that, because you essentially what you're doing is pushing the batter, pushing their body weight back, and then the next ball you do pitch up, you don't quite get your body weight into the ball, so your connection isn't quite as clean, and that's what the lads did really well earlier. They utilised that short ball and pushed the Leicester batters back, so it's a good ball to bowl.
Siva Brandt, and again I think that maybe a little bit slower as well, worked away onto the onside. Again, can't get it past the fielder, so there'll be no run. Sarah Glenn getting down to do the fielding. 53 for 3, 1 ball left of the 11th over in this second match being played here at Emirates Old Trafford. There's the third game, by the way. It's across the way. Manchester United Chelsea.
Yes, tonight.
It is tonight. Morris is on 5 meantime here, and again just turn around the square on behind square on the leg side. Tumbling stop again from Glenn, and I'll go through for 1, and that's 11 overs complete now at 54 for 3. Morris on 6 and Heap on 14. Siva Brandt has bowled 2 overs, gone for 10 runs. Keaton Jennings, thank you very much. Hopefully maybe hear from Keaton again a little later on. More importantly, we'd love to see him back on the field of play, which hopefully we'll do before the end of next month. Faith Lawrence is back alongside. I spoke with Faith after she was on the last time, setting up perfectly and brilliantly this game and the context of it. Welcome back. I'll get your thoughts in just a moment as to where we are. Technically speaking, we're 11 overs in, 54 for 3, but it'd be lovely to get your views on some of the dismissals, how you think this is all shaping up at the moment. But de Klerk got a wicket with the first over. Is in again to bowl to Fee Morris. Again, leans back off the back foot. Can't get it past the fielder, Glenn, who's fielding there in the offside this time. But what have you made of the first 11.1 overs?
Well, I think the Blaze will certainly be the happier of the two, possibly, so far. Some of the really key batters, Deandra Dottin, Emma Lamb, the big power hitters who can take a game away, are out.
Morris faces, and, well, what was she trying to do there? I need to see that again. Trying to get all funky out there. It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But she's looking to reverse this. She was indeed, and missed it completely. Through to the keeper, dot ball. So again, maybe she'll try a more orthodox approach here. Who knows? She's on 6 at the moment, and that's been called as a no ball by the umpire. De Klerk looks behind as if some sort of great injustice has been put upon her, but the umpire is quite clear. It also means there's going to be a free hit here as well. So the score moves up to 55 for 3 with this free hit to come. We'll come back to your analysis in a moment, Faith, on what we've seen here. But it is interesting, the Blaze. They do seem to have this new life about them with their new home, new team, looking to reverse, and that's been got away this time. It's probably going to get the distance down to the boundary rope. I think it's going to get 2 fielders chasing it and 2 fielders failing to get to it before it gets to the rope. But Eric just got there and just over the rope, but it's 4 runs all the same, and it takes the score to 59 for 3 in the 12th over. So if we come just before your thoughts on the Blaze. You know, from a distance I've been looking on, it looks as if they've got real something about them now. They've got a real sense of real purpose, it seems, in their new home. Meantime, it's Morris on 10, and that's down the lakeside. An appeal for a catch. Nothing doing from the umpire.
Yes, that's right. I completely agree, and you can see it in the body language of the Blaze and the way they field as a unit. Throwing themselves around, stopping those balls, saving definitely 1s and 2s from stopping the Thunder players running. There's a lot of hesitation in the middle, and I think that's coming from the squeeze from the Blaze.
Morris is on 10. Run a ball 10 at the moment. She's had 2 4s. What can you do with this one? Well, that's again squeezed through the legs, really, and straight to the fielder that can't really get the ball past on this occasion. Grace Ballinger is doing the fielding, so another dot ball. 1 ball left to the 12th at 59 for 3.
Fielding well and taking wickets. You know, when you look at that bowling lineup, you wouldn't necessarily expect the young Grace Ballinger to be the bowler, the strike bowler who's taken all these wickets.
Morris facing again, and this time she does get bat on it, and it'll be along the ground through square leg for a single, so she'll keep the strike, having moved her score to 11 and taken the Thunder up to 60 for 3 after 12 overs. Well, I've personally enjoyed especially watching Grace bowl, because she's been in the commentary team with us quite a bit, working on the county championship, and I've never seen her play until now.
Right.
And
she's good, eh?
Well, she is good. I'd love the approach. It's a really aggressive approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful in the commentary box, I think, because she's quite scary when she's coming with that ball in hand. Less scary when she's sitting in the seat that you're sitting in, shall we say. But just generally, so 60 for 3 after 12 overs. Yeah, your overall assessment. Obviously, the Blaze will be happy. Any more thoughts?
Yeah, a slow start for the Thunder. I think they will have certainly wanted to be further ahead at this stage, you know, after 12 overs. To only have scored 60 runs and be 3 wickets down. There's still plenty of batting to come, and you know, at this stage you're kind of torn between steadying the ship or just really going for it. It's a T20, so I think the latter.
Spin of Sarah Glenn again introduced. It'll go through for 1, just helped on its way really, but by pad. It's been sitting on the leg by. I thought maybe she just got a little bit of bat on that just to push it away, but it's a leg by. They all count 61 for 3 in the 13th over. Sarah Glenn bowling her 3rd over, 2.1 overs. No wicket for 10 so far for Glenn. She's bowling from this near end, from our commentary box end, Brian Statham end. This has been hit by Heap up towards the boundary at long on.
We saw the skipper, sorry Kevin, we saw the skipper Ellie Threlkeld get out trying to step up that scoring rate.
Yeah.
And try and do that scoop shot, didn't quite work out.
No. Morris is on 11 and facing. Heap having moved to 15. Hammered down into the ground really, sort of almost like hitting a nail on the top of its head. Couldn't create enough space to get the ball away, so it's a dot ball, 62 for 3. Midway through the 13th, Morris remains on 11. Sarah Glenn again in bowls, worked away onside. The field comes chasing around. Right arm throw again. It's just the one. Catherine Bryce with the throw out in the deep, away to our right hand side.
Sarah Glenn is very good at frustrating batters. England international, of course, gets through overs really quickly.
Just a 2 or 3 yard approach in and full and driven along the ground. Down again to our right hand side at long on. De Klerk with the right arm throw. 64 for 3, but these singles aren't going to be doing too much damage.
No, that's right, and you feel like the Blaze have got them right where they want them at the moment.
Keeps on 16, Morris on 12. And that one sits up very nearly, leaning back, looking to cut it. Very nearly gets a little bit of a top edge through to the keeper, but doesn't. So Glenn now, 3 overs, 13 runs conceded at 64 for 3 after 13 overs. Morris on 12 and Heap on 16. Trekeld was the last wicket to have gone, LBW to De Klerk for 22, but real pressure upon the batting side here to set something. They've got a few overs to do it, and they've got a few wickets standing as well. They're only 3 down, but there's 7 overs remaining. But, as you say, on those occasions where we've seen the batters trying to up the pace a little bit, it's been their downfall.
That's right. I don't know if you saw any of the Under-19 World Cup, but Liberty Heap is can be a very destructive batter, and she's someone in this situation I think the funder will be looking to get things going now.
Well, let's see. She's on 16 from 22 balls. Start of the next over. Well, if that's the way it's going to go, it could be good, because that's definitely going to be a 4. It's been hammered away through the leg side, through the wide long on area. There's nobody out there. There's somebody out long on. There's somebody out there at mid wicket. But she's found the gap brilliantly. So ideal timing from you to be pointing that out. She's
Absolutely.
got a bit of work still to do, but what a fine shot that was. Moves her to 20. And the bowling is Kirsty Gordon in the final over. Gordon, 3.1 overs, 1 for 18. Where's she gone with this time? This time it's a little bit straighter to the long on boundary. 1 more to the total. 69 for 3. 21 off 24 for Heap now.
They've got to be looking to score from every single ball, I think. In the last game, they were bowled out for, actually, they weren't quite bowled out. It was 154 for 7. They lost a lot of wickets, but put a lot of runs on the board. Need a repeat of that here.
Gordon around the wicket again. This is going to be safe, and it could be 4 runs. It's up over the top of extra cover. Finding the space, finding the gaps, and finding the strength and power as well. That is another 4. Another 4 runs to the total. Well, if the Thunder do need to move through the gears, there's signs here they're starting to do so. 73 for 3 in the 14th.
Absolutely. Afi Morris, a very experienced batter. She's moved over to the Thunder from Western Storm this year. Thunder are really pleased to have her in the lineup, because she's that kind of batter that won't panic in a situation and can get the scoreboard moving.
On the wicket again, Gordon, and this time it's square. On the leg side from Morris, just for a single to move to 17. Is that ball tick over? It does, yes, 17 from 18 balls. 2 balls left to the over at 74 for 3. Well, this crowd that has stayed on, they'd love to see a little bit of blistering batting going on. Try and give the home team something to defend later on in the day. Let's see. This has been hammered straight back into the hands of Gordon, and they'll go through for 1. Underarm attempt there at a run out as well. Did that go back to her really quickly for a caught and bowled opportunity? I'd like to see it again. Or whether she just hammered it into the ground. What happened here? Let's have a look. Oh, it did. It went. Oh, that's been a sensational caught and bowled, but it was there to be caught, wasn't it? To a right-hand side. That technically definitely goes down as a drop. A little bit of fortune for the Thunder. They'll need a little bit of that maybe to get some sort of total here. That next delivery is just hit fine, but straight to the fielder, no run. 75 for 3 after 14 overs. Morris on 17, Heap on 22, and Kirsty Gordon completes that allocation of 4 overs. I'm sure she'll be thinking to herself that should be 2 wickets that she's taken. Instead, it's just the 1 for 25.
Yeah, and that's really good to see from the Thunder. You know, that's a sign of them not cracking under the pressure, not buckling, having lost a couple of key wickets, having lost their captain there. 2 really good, strong batters there at the crease, and they've got the message, or certainly got the message to themselves, that they need to get going here. Only 6 overs left, and still under 100 runs scored. And these 2 seem to be finding some rhythm and just responding better to the pressure of the Blaze bowlers.
So Heap on 22 from 25. Just seen a couple of 4s. We've seen some fine shots, but we need a few more. Well, that's not one of them. That's a play and a miss, and very nearly again getting an edge from Glenn, who, like Gordon's, going to bowl out here. Her 3.1 overs, no wicket for 13 at the moment. Real pressure from the international, bowling to young Heap, who sits on 22. Next delivery again, tries to put plenty of bat behind that. It sort of spins off really away on the offside. They'll just get 1. Couldn't quite get the contact she was after. She'll get a single to move to 23. 73 for 3 in the 15th.
Liberty Heap is not the sort of batter to die wondering. She's going to be swinging for everything from here. So Thunder will just hope that she's making that connection, doesn't lose her shape too much. Sarah Glenn, key wicket taker for the Blaze and for England so often.
Well, she just has a word with Kirsty Gordon, the captain, about possible change of the field, but nothing's changed, so I'm not too sure what exactly she was looking for. This is drilled along the ground. That's a lovely shot. There is a fielder coming round to Clerk here to do the fielding and stop the ball from going into the boundary. So there's only one, but it is one. Moves the score to 77 for 3. Midway through the 15th. Morris to 18 not out of 20. Next ball, and that's a lovely spinning ball, but the keeper misses it. It's going to race all the way down to the boundary. I don't think that's going to be cut off. There's Grace Ballinger in pursuit. She's not going to be able to get to it. So signal as byes, and it's a 4. Gosh, the way that flew through there, the keeper missed it. That's some distance to travel, isn't it, that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
81 for 3 the score, 15th over.
Some signs here that the Thunder are just getting that score rate up a little bit.
Next ball, 2 balls left to this over. It's in the air, but it's going to fall just short of de Klerk here, who doesn't go running in with that danger of missing it and going past her and over the boundary rope. Just happy for them to get 1 and no more. 82 for 3, 1 ball left to the 15th over here. Heap has moved to 24. Morris on 18. And Glenn with her last ball and bowled up. It's a wicket. She's got rid of Morris for 18. So Glenn picks up a wicket with the last ball of her 4 overs. And 82 for 4 in the 15th. And Sarah Glenn, she put pressure on. She did put pressure on, and eventually she gets her wicket.
That's what she's there for, Sarah Glenn. When batters look like they're getting comfortable, when they look like they're executing their plans at last and getting somewhere that they want to go, you bring in Sarah Glenn and you probably fancy a wicket's going to go down pretty soon after that. 5 overs left, when on 82 for 4. Thunder will really want to try and get well over 100 runs here. If they can get up to that 115, 120, might be a big ask, but they've certainly got the batting to do it. Sophie Eccleston strides out. She is the kind of batter that can definitely take Thunder to a good score, well above 100, which is what they're going to need with that Blaze lineup. Liberty Heap and Sophie Eccleston. I wonder if we're going to see some sixes now in these last few overs. 2 batters who are very capable.
Yeah, so they've got two players in now that can clear the ropes.
Absolutely.
Certainly, obviously, Liberty Heap's well settled. Faced 29 deliveries for 24. Sophie Eccleston's a really powerful hitter of the ball. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, this, isn't it? I mean, 82 for 4 with 5 overs left. But be tempted just to play a little bit more cautiously for another over or 2. This is worked down towards short third, where it's fielded inside the circle by Georgie Boyce. No run.
Maybe. I mean, Liberty Heap and Sophie Eccleston, the word cautious isn't one that really applies to their batting very often.
Fair enough. Yeah, 6 wickets remaining. 1 ball into the 16th over. Heap on 24. Here's Nat Siverbrunt in and bowls. Well, there's an example, but gives himself a bit of room and hits it up and over extra cover. And we'll come back for 2. It's a big boundary, that, out towards the offside, towards where the hotel is. Bounces maybe 10 yards in front of the rope, and they come back for 2. 84 for 4 now.
They are big boundaries, aren't they? There's plenty of room to run those 2s, maybe 3s.
Keaton was saying they've not been brought in too much from the earlier game. Oh, this is a big top edge, actually, off the bat of Heap. Might go here and does. Georgie Boyce takes the catch. Former teammate of Liberty Heap and the Thunder. And now Thunder are 5 down. 84 for 5 in the 16th over. Well, we mentioned, Faith, didn't we, about whether or not they would attack or maybe just be a little bit more cautious, but there was certainly a lot of intent in that over.
No, absolutely not.
And plenty of smiles in the faces of the Blaze players as well. Heap going for 26. So Kate Cross comes out to join Sophie Eccleston. Something in the pocket. Maybe a 5er. 84 for 5 in the 16th over. And Kate Cross joins Sophie Eccleston.
Yeah, and that was a pretty decent contribution actually from Liberty Heap, all things considered. Having lost a couple of quick wickets, she really helped to get some stability there in the middle orders, and has contributed very handily to the score. Sophie Eccleston and Kate Cross will have batted together many times in different contexts, so they'll be hoping to put up a few extra runs here.
And it's Cross on strike. It's a short ball by Siva Brunt to her international teammate. Blimey, have that first up, Kate Cross.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, exactly. Good afternoon, Kate. How you doing? Enjoyed your latest edition of the No Balls podcast. Hitting balls to Cross. That's worked away off the hip, up towards square leg. Slightly friendlier looking delivery, that. Cross off the mark straight away. 85 for 5 now. With one ball left in the 16th over. Brings Sophie Eccleston on strike, but it's not clearly not ideal. The back end of the innings and two new batters out there just trying to get themselves in.
No, not ideal, but they've both got a lot of experience. Both confident players.
Eccleston's on strike. And that's nudged away to mid-wicket. And through for a single, and keeps the strike as well. So 86 for 5 with 4 overs gone. Eccleston on 1 and Cross on 1. Thanks, Faith. We'll bring Faith back in a little bit later on. Paul Horton is back inside the commentary box. We'll have a little change around for the final 4 overs. And we're going to hear from Mel Farrell, I think, in the second half of the game as well. So plenty of voices to keep you across this Charlotte Edwards Cup fixture. Two, as Faith was saying, two very experienced batters in Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston. And Paul, they're going to need all this experience to try and get something on the board for both these two bowlers to try and defend.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I was just thinking, have a think about what they were looking to target at the moment. I think 86, 4 overs to go. You've got to be 120 plus, I think, to have any chance. It is a big field today, though, I must admit.
De Klerk comes in and bowls onto the pads of Eccleston. And that's clipped away towards deep square leg. Catherine Bryce fields for the Blaze. Score moves on to 87.
So scores will be slightly lower. It's a really big field, big playing area, right in the middle here at Old Trafford. So I think scores will be a little bit lower because of that. And then, there's been some good bowling, I must admit. But I think the Thunder might be disappointed if they only get to about 120. I think they may be disappointed with that as a total.
Cross on strike. And that's flashed away through the leg side. Just for a single for Cross, doubles the total. Siva Brunt comes up to complete the fielding. 88 for 5 now.
And as I mentioned to you off air, the 5 fielders in the circle is a different change. It's different to the NatWest T20 Blast.
De Klerk balls again, full onto the pads of Eccleston, just works it with plenty of bottom hand, just a little wristy flick through mid-wicket for a single. Moves on to 3, 89 for 5.
So in theory should take the scores up. Extra fielder in the ring. Scores should be a little bit higher. But I think the Blades have been really good. I think the only mark against them, I think a couple of no balls cost them a little bit. Free hits. No good for them to do that. And got to be a bit disciplined.
De Klerk comes over the wicket and bowls, and Cross goes right across the stumps. And trying to be enterprising, Kate Cross.
But they've used their changes of pace. I thought, it's well documented. But I thought Siva Brunt was fantastic with the ball. Changes of pace, bounces which were straight. Really experienced piece of bowling.
De Klerk balls to Kate Cross, and that's driven down the ground. Kirsty Gordon, as ever, for the Blaze, fielding at mid-off, skipper, and there's no run. She's got some very good bowling options, hasn't she? Kirsty Gordon, the skipper, as you mentioned, set up by the way that Siva Brunt and Ballinger bowled at the top. Been backed up pretty much all the way through the innings, though. Cross steps to the leg side, gives herself some room, but a swing and a miss, and through to Sarah Bryce, the wicket keeper. And that's the end of the over. So 17 overs gone. The flown looking figure of Kate Cross. Looks a little frustrated there, looks a little kind of tap of the gloves with Sophie Eccleston. Kind of over to the bowlers to try and get some runs on the board to work with.
Yeah, she looks frustrated. Looks a bit frustrated. She looks a bit. To be honest, I must admit, she's coming off an injury layoff, isn't she? She's come off. She looked a little bit frustrated in warm-up, I must admit. But it can all change. She gets a few blows away here and then ball in hand, a couple of wickets, and all of a sudden, the world changes for you. But I think the Blaze have been impressive. I think, as a snapshot of the Thunder from their batting, I think, at times they could have a bit more energy and run a bit better between the wickets. I think some of their twos and can be threes, and some of their runs in their circle, they need a bit more intent. It's not easy to hit fours and sixes, as you've seen. So how else are they going to change the momentum in their batting, if you know what I mean? They've got to look to run hard in the circle. All the fielders are on the edge here in the circle, so you got to hit and run a little bit. You've got to put a bit of pressure and intent back on the Blaze as best you can.
Grace Ballinger returns for her fourth and final over. And Eccleston chips the ball back over her head. The keeper's in position, but leaves it actually. And Kelly takes the catch. And Eccleston goes for 3. And the Thunder really are kind of limping towards the end of their 20 overs. 89 for 6. And Sophie Eccleston trying to work it to the leg side, but it just ballooned high over her shoulder. And I thought Sarah Boyce would take it with the gloves on. Bryce left it, and in came the safe pair of hands of Kelly to take the catch.
Yeah, not often the keeper leaves it for a fielder when they go straight up, but that was done. That's what happened, and she took the catch really well. Good change of pace by Ballinger, who continues to be impressive. Continues to be impressive with the ball. She was brilliant up front. She swung the ball back. She held it line. She gave it a chance. She bowled nice and forward, swung. She gave her a chance to swing, take wickets, and now keep her up. Looks like she's got some changes of pace, and she's going to bowl over. But the Thunder are limping here a little bit at the end, limping to their total. Good little partnership before. Got a bit of momentum, and then obviously you lose 2 wickets in a clump, and all of a sudden you got 2 batters on noughts, and that's not what you need.
Ballinger comes in, bowls to Ditani, trying to work the ball away to mid-wicket. And there's no run. I was working with Grace Ballinger actually at Trent Bridge maybe 2 weeks ago in the Lancashire Nottinghamshire Championship match. She was part of the commentary team for the final day of that fixture, and she took wickets in the Rachel Hale Flint Trophy on that previous day. And she was chatting to me about how much she was looking forward to playing here. Run down through third by Ditani. Wants to come back for 2, but settles for just the single. So brings up 90 on the board for Thunder, 90 for 6. Well, she certainly enjoyed her day as Grace Ballinger so far. 2 for 17. She got 3 balls left of her allotted 4 overs.
She's bowled incredibly well. She deserves the figures that she's got. Bowled in power play, and then at the end, she's bowled really nicely.
Leg side field all set back, long on, deep mid-wicket and deep square leg. Well, it's a thick edge down to third by Kate Cross. Well, all runs are welcome for Thunder from this position. Georgie Boyce trying to catch up with it, but it was always beating her. Cross gets 4. Little streaky, but she'll take them. She moves on to 6. 94 for 6. With 2 balls left at the 18th over. Ballinger to bowl around the wicket to Kate Cross. It's flashed away through the leg side. Just goes past the edge of that 30-metre circle, and Nat Sivabrunt comes up to complete the fielding. Cross moves on to 7. Score ticks along to 95 for 6 with a delivery to go of the 18th over. Probably for the way that Grace Ballinger's bowled today, deserves to try and get out the over with not too much damage done. Ditani waits as Ballinger comes in. That's chipped up to mid-on. And it's worth just the 1 run. That is the end of the 18th over. And Grace Ballinger signs off with 4 overs, 2 for 23. Thunder have got 2 overs left to, well, at the very least, push the score up to and beyond 3 figures. Ditani on 2 and Cross on 7. We've seen already one team struggled to post a score in a T20 match here today. That was the Lancashire Foxes, all out for 99, the Foxes in the first match. Well, the Thunder are 96 for 6 with 2 overs remaining. Will be de Klerk to bowl her 4th over. 3 overs, 1 for 13. A pretty mean looking figures too. Ditani on strike. Here is de Klerk over the wicket and bowls and angled across. Ditani, who followed it, trying to run the ball down perhaps through the backward point, but a play and a miss and through to the keeper. Sarah Bryce, no run.
She's bowled really well here, de Klerk. She's used changes of pace incredibly well.
In and balls, full of ball on off stump and jabbed away into the offside by Ditani. Score moves on to 97 for 7. Those subtleties, I guess, Paul, in T20 cricket as a bowler. You've got to, you batters have it all your own way, don't you? So you've got to try and conjure up a few surprise deliveries, a few extra little bit of.
Yeah, she's bowled really well. Yeah, has bowled really well. She changes her pace. She's bowled to her field.
De Klerk in to Cross. Ooh, well, his runs here down past the keeper. It's a swing by Kate Cross. It's down towards the boundary. Oh, and she's got a little thin inside edge on that. So it's 4 runs for Cross. She moves on to 11 now, and that does bring up the 3 figures as well. 101 for 6.
Well, if Cross isn't happier now than she was previously, she's nicking the ball for 4. So she's hit 2 behind her and gone for 8. So yeah, fortune's not favouring her at the moment. I don't know what she'll think it is, because it's a bit unlucky on the Blaze at the moment.
And there's more runs here for Cross, who goes off the back foot and chops the ball down towards 3rd. It's successive boundaries. This time getting it beyond the reach of Georgie Boyce inside the circle at short 3rd.
Yeah, she's nicked another one, and it's gone for 4 again. So I think the Blazer got it wrong a little bit here to Cross. You know, maybe she has the ability to take over mid-on, but I think I'd be wanting to bowl with my 3rd man back a little bit, potentially give me a bit of protection. I know de Klerk's using pace off, so there's no real pace on the ball, but yeah, Cross has hit 12 behind her.
This time hits it down the ground. Kelly comes up from long on to field. Cross moves on to 16. Score moves on to 106 for 6. Well, these are Brucey bonus runs, aren't they, for the Thunder?
Yeah, Cross is playing a little cameo here. 16 off 11, 3 4s. It doesn't matter how they come. She's got good intent. She's swinging hard. Okay, she's nicked a couple, but it's a bit of fortune and a little bit of momentum at the back end of the Thunder's innings here.
Final ball of the over, slashed away into the offside. Good one-handed parry inside the circle at cover. As Ditani comes back and runs 2, and Siva Brown, having fielded that, then back up on the feet and has a shy at the stumps towards the bowler's end. But they've run pretty hard there. They've managed to squeeze out 2 runs from that final ball of the over. And that's actually proved to be quite a profitable over, that, for the Thunder, thanks to those Kate Cross edges for successive boundaries. 108 for 6.
Yeah, de Klerk's 4th has gone for 12. Finished with really sort of respectable figures of 4 overs, 1 for 12. She 1 for 25. She deserved a bit more than that. She's a bit unlucky there with the way that ran out. And she's bowled really well here, but the Thunder a little bit of momentum. 108 for 6. Yeah, Siva Brunt to finish here. She bowled 3 overs, 1 for 14. She needs to finish off nicely. The Thunder wanting to another double figure over, get them to near 120, and then they're going to have to bowl well, I would say, at 118, 116, or something like that. They're going to have to bowl well. Yep. Yeah, it's a runner ball. The T20 you wouldn't expect, but still they got the runs on the board.
So final over of the innings. As Cross hits Nats Siva Brunt back over her head, just for 1 this time. Down towards the long on boundary. Cross moves on to 17 not out. 109 for 6. So Kirsty Gordon going with Nat Siva Brunt for the final over. A game that's littered with some international star players, which Siva Brunt is right up there with them. She sets off, but then decides against it. Ditani on 5. Fire balls left for the Thunder. Silverbrunt in and balls, down on one knee and able to muscle the ball away through deep mid-wicket. Will take a single. They could do with just a couple of boundaries in this final over. That would make things feel a little easier, a little better. Try and push up towards 120 if they can. 4 balls left, 110 for 6. Cross on 17. Silverbrunt over the wicket, balls to Cross. That's hammered towards long on. Cross moves on to 18, not out. Score moves on to 111 for 6. It's not a huge total to try and defend, but it's potentially at least something to work with for Thunder's skillful bowlers. Again, Datani trying to work the ball to the leg side. The ball just drops out a few yards away from the off stump and they scamper through for another single. 112 for 6, so it's a run off every ball so far of this final over. Where can they find a boundary? If they could find a boundary. 2 balls left. Cross on strike. Silverbrunt into Cross. Down the pitch it comes. It's dropped in short by Silverbrunt. It's signalled as a wide. And it's down the leg side by the umpire. Kate Cross leans on the bat. On strike for the final 2 balls of the innings. Silverbrunt into Cross, again down the pitch she comes. That's sent away to the leg side, behind square. These 2 fielders chasing after it. Dive comes in, but they can't cut it off. Grace Ballinger with the effort to try and cut that off. Well, we mentioned where the Thunder find a boundary. Well, Kate Cross has found one to backward square leg.
Yeah, nice shot from Kate Cross. Slightly, a couple of poor balls here from Silverbrunt. She's lost her line wide down the leg side. That's also quite wide down the leg side, and Kate Cross has helped it on its way for 4. But a great little cameo from Kate Cross, 22 or 14 with 4 fours.
Final ball into Cross. It's banged in short. It's a very good short ball by Nat Silverbrunt. So it's a dot ball to end the innings. Clever bowling by Silverbrunt there, I think, to a international teammate, Kate Cross. End of the over, end of the innings for the Thunder. They've got to 117, Paul. It's not... Well, you can tell with the reaction of the Blaze players and perhaps the body language too of the Lancashire Thunder batters as they make their way off the field. It's possibly not going to be enough, but with some experienced bowlers and the best spinner in the world in Sophie Eccleston, it is something at least potentially to try and work with.
Yeah, look, it's runs on the board, and anytime you get some runs on the board, you can put a bit of pressure on. All the Thunder need to do is take wickets up top, and then obviously Sophie Eccleston will come into the game and try and squeeze, and she is a high-class international cricketer, and anything can happen, I think. I think they'd be disappointed with that total at the start. They'd be disappointed with that, what they've got, and I don't think, it shouldn't be enough to win a game of cricket. They're going to have to bowl extremely well and have a bit of luck run their way, I would have thought. I think the Blazers will be happy with what they've achieved here, and obviously kept them to under 120, under a run of ball. I think the Blazers will be really happy with that.
Okay, cheers, Paul. More to come from Paul in the second innings. So it's 117 for 6, the Thunder, after 20 overs, and the Blaze will need 118 to win. And listeners on 5 Sports Extra.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
Oh. How's that?
How's that?
So the Thunder's innings is over, and 117 for 6. It's been a strange kind of an innings in many ways. Keaton and Mella here with me. What did you make of it? Neither side really able to really take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, 100%. It's just kind of ebbed and flowed quite nicely. 117 it could be competitive. You're up around the sort of 6 and over mark. I think you need to start well with the ball. You need to make sure you strike. You strike in a very experienced lineup from a batting point of view. So strike early, and then you just put the squeeze on. You hit Emirates Old Trafford in that middle phase. If you hold the game and you squeeze nicely with a spin, it can become really hard to score.
Mel, a bit of a restrictive phase in many ways for the Blaze. I mean, at times they were very tidy with the bowling and the fielding. Every now and then, though, just a little slip. There was a dropped catch. Again, not quite a complete performance from them.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. There were definitely moments. There were some good periods. Someone like Nadine de Klerk coming in, and I thought bowled quite tidily, as well as Sarah Glenn too. They had different options. I thought Nat Siver was great, particularly in the way she employed the short ball. She bowled really difficult short ball to keep them restricted, hard to get away. The boundaries are quite big here. They haven't come in as much from the men's game as sometimes you see. But even there, I think they scored 13 or 14 boundaries, which, when I checked, was a little bit higher than perhaps what I'd originally thought watching. So no one was able to really get going from Lancashire. And on the flip side, no one was really able to penetrate. They shared the wickets pretty evenly, and it's going to be an interesting chase.
I'm going to say, because of that, you think the two sides, to an extent, are maybe cancelling each other out a little bit, so it could be nip and tuck when it comes to the next innings as well.
Yeah, it could be. I definitely think the power play is going to be very interesting. And there's a couple of big wickets in the likes of, particularly like your Tammy Beaumont or Nat Siver as well. If they can remove those and just put some pressure on them early in the chase, I think that's going to be really, really important.
Those mentioned there, a couple of big batters in there, and there's the likes of Tammy Beaumont, the likes of Nat Siver. Those are the ones that Lancashire are really going to have to keep on top of to try and make sure that they keep the chase away.
Yeah, 100% correct. I think, having said that, though, you can create pressure on those players by restricting the others. I think if you do strike early and you hold the game, this is that kind of total that can be quite niggly. So from a Thunder point of view, you need to make sure you just bowl nice and straight, hold your length really well, and then you just restrict. As soon as those fielders go back, Emirates Old Trafford can be a bit of a horrible place to try and get the ball sort of down and away from the inner ring. And like Mel was saying, the ground is big. I think the meets only come in, or the boundaries only come in 5 metres from the men's game, and the men find it quite a big field. So look, it'll be interesting to see how the Blaze go about this.
There were a couple of nice, useful little partnerships in amongst the Lancashire innings. We saw the likes of Ellie Threlkeld coming in at 14 for 2. She put on 32 with Liberty Heap, and then Fee Morris came in. She put on 36 with Liberty Heap as well. Heap, the factor between the two of them. So there were the innings, or rather starts of a good innings there, but again, it just crept away a little bit for them, didn't it, as the game went on?
Yeah, no, I think that was partly, at least, because of the way that they bowled quite tightly. And you saw that typical thing of players getting a little bit frustrated and not being able to score runs quite so quickly, and then you would see the wicket ball come. And so there was just that sort of constant procession from early on when Emma Lamb and Deandra Dotton went quite cheaply up top. So it almost felt like they were constantly in a rebuilding phase, because of the way that those wickets fell quite regularly, and you have to sort of give quite a lot of credit to the bowling attack for the way they did restrict and apply that pressure.
A little bit of a flurry towards the end, a total up to 118, that's the target. So at least that's something to have a good go at.
Absolutely, like I said, the total could be a little bit niggly. If you start well with the ball, you get a pole or two, and suddenly that total feels like it's quite a lot further away, because you, like Mo was saying, you can't access the boundary as easily as at other grounds. It is a big field, so from a Thunder point of view, you need to make sure you restrict and you strike. Like I say, from a Blaze point of view, how do you go about it? Do you try and attack the power play and get ahead of the game at the risk of losing wickets? Or do you try and save and hit the sort of back end of the game, which could be quite interesting on a big field?
What do you think, Mel? Do you agree with that in terms of the approach that Lancashire have to take?
Yeah, it is. I absolutely agree, of course. And I mean, I'm getting on the Mahika Gaur train. I've been on there from, you know, that beforehand. And she hasn't been able to bowl yet, obviously, so we're going to see her bowl. I actually saw her before the game. I can't remember seeing a player that excited. Like, she was literally almost jumping up and down. And she said to me, "Oh, I'm so excited to do this, I'm so excited." So that's the sort of enthusiasm that you want to see from players when you're going to go out there and you've got to just, defend not a big total. So I'll see. She might make some inroads early on, and we can see what she can do.
Let's see. We can't wait. Keaton, Mel, thanks very much indeed
Cheers,
for the moment. We'll be back in just a moment or two. Neha is out there amongst the crowd. We'll be back very shortly.
we stand with our lovely fans, and look who I found. Hello, girls.
Hi.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Alicia and I'm from Rochdale.
Amazing. Now, you have actually come with your school today, haven't you? Is it your first time here today at Emirates Old Trafford?
Yeah, it is.
How does it feel?
It feels great.
And I think it's your teachers behind me, aren't they? Yeah. Hello. Hello, teachers. What are your names?
I'm Mrs. Welsh.
Miss Molyneux. And I've heard that you've brought the girls on a school trip. I absolutely love that you brought them on a school trip because I didn't get that when I was at school. So how cool. You're very, very lucky. Amazing. How excited are you?
Very.
Yeah, very, yeah. It's something we've been looking forward to for the last few weeks. The girls have been, they've been doing taster sessions for cricket that Lancashire have organised. So Melissa Kay at Lancashire, she's been fantastic. So she did some taster sessions this week, some after school stuff, some staff training for us as well. And we're just obviously trying to get the girls to watch this and see what they can aspire to do if they want to do it and progress.
Amazing. I can also see that you're wearing your Celebrating Women in Sport badge. Just how important do you think it is to encourage the girls to get involved in sports that, you know, are often seen as male-dominated sports?
Yeah, well, yeah, just even from a recreational point of view, you know, just to see that equality and, you know, you've got the girls here playing in a fantastic stadium, you know, just like the men have, and it's just showing that things are becoming more equal and the stage is set for the girls and the men as well. So it's really nice for the girls to have role models to look up to.
Amazing stuff. And you do actually have a little fun fact, don't you, about who attended your school?
Yes, Sakib Mahmood used to come to our school as a learner, so it was nice for the girls to meet him before and have a picture with him. It's nice.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We hope you enjoy your time. Now, Scott, over to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome back to our commentary box. I've got Paul Houghton alongside me in the glorious Manchester sunshine. And
yeah,
not a lot
better,
of
isn't it? It's got better. Yeah, it was a bit cloudy before. The lights have come on,
and you can see on the screen you've got your legs out as well, and you've done well with that.
Yeah,
you picked a good day for that.
I've gambled, I must admit. They look a lot tighter actually than that. I noticed before Keaton Jennings' jeans or jeggings, whatever they were.
Yeah, it was just below the knee, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, they were.
Keaton's just below the knee.
Keaton, there he is. Look, as we speak, he's walking around the boundary in his short denim shorts or short denim short long. No. So, but look, they got the runs on the board.
Yep.
117. I think they'd be disappointed with that. I think they'd probably want more, but it is a big field. They've got a really good bowling attack. I don't think it's all over for Thunder just yet, if I'm honest with you. I think they get a good start, go have a good power play, take a couple of wickets up top, then you never know. You know, you can be 30 for 3, all of a sudden you get a squeeze on and all. Yeah, it's a long way in that middle period. But the Blaze will be thinking, right, if we can get a good power play, go off to a good start, it's a bit of a flyer, and all of a sudden we make a big dent at 117 and we coast it in. So power play is key.
It's the conversations we were having a few hours ago when Lancashire Lightning came out to bat. Do you try and win it early, or do you go slow and steady and just win the match regardless of how long it takes you?
I don't think there's any place for going slow and steady at all, really.
Why not? I like slow and steady.
Well, yeah. Well,
just take it easy.
You're commentating. Sadly, you're commentating in the wrong era if you like slow and steady. Yeah, no one likes slow and steady. No one is rewarded for slow and steady, and no one is picked on slow and steady.
Oh,
you know
that's
that.
Disappointing.
So, you know, it's a T20 game. So you're looking up front with the fielders in to make most of the power play. Whether you're chasing 100, 50, or 200, the approach should be the same. Okay, if you get knocked over or you get a couple, then obviously you can alter and change your tack as you're chasing 117. But you should be, yeah, they should be, you know, for want of a better phrase, blasting away at the top. They should be, you know, chasing this target like it's 160, 170. They should be going off at a flyer, and then all of a sudden, yeah, the game breaks open for them. There's no point in going steady and making it hard for yourself during the middle period. Yeah, when the fielders go out,
win the game, get it done.
You've got to take the scoreboard out of the equation. You've got to be positive, and you've got to, you know, attack the power play like they were batting first, like they'd be attacking it batting first.
Or if they do that, the Blaze, and they win the match, it's 2 wins from 2. for the Blaze. It would be 2 defeats from 2 from the Thunder, so we'll see how they get about. The players are heading out. Ellie Threlkeld with her magnificent wicket-keeping gloves on, leading the team on. Do like Ellie's fearsome-looking black wicket-keeping gloves. And she's, I'm sure, in charge of the team huddle there, and hoping that her teammates can try and back up the work of that we saw a little bit earlier in the day with Lancashire Lightning, with the men's team in the field. They're bowled and fielded superbly. I'm sure that Ellie will be hoping that that her team can do something similar. Paul will rejoin us a little bit later on. Faith Lawrence is alongside me for the start of this reply for the Blaze, and there is I guess a real chance to try and get the match won here, Faith, if Blaze can, and try and hit the ground running and I suppose put the pressure right back on the bowling team.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think both sides will think that they're in with a chance. You know, there was a stage in that first innings perhaps where the Blaze thought they might have restricted the Thunder to under 100, you know, not as high as 117 certainly. And so with a bowler like Sophie Eccleston, the likes of Kate Cross, Mahika Gaur, they'll fancy taking some early wickets. Tammy Beaumont, everybody who's ever watched England will know what she's capable of. And Marie Kelly is also a very, very good batter who can clear the ropes. You've also got Georgie Boyce to come in the Blaze lineup, and you know these are her old stomping grounds. She's very familiar with the team, with the track out here, so she'll be looking to get some big runs, and she's been on super form for the Blaze in the first game.
Well, we've got a proper matchup here, haven't we? We've got Sophie Eccleston to Tammy Beaumont to start the reply. This should be terrific. There is Eccleston in. Oh, and he's bringing Tammy Beaumont forward, and he's shuffling down the pitch, and the ball deflects off the inner half of the bat to mid-wicket. Intriguing little contest early on. I like how Beaumont came down the pitch to her.
Oh yeah, how can you not love Charlotte Edwards Cup? You know, quality.
There's Eccleston in, and Beaumont again getting towards Eccleston and defending. And there's no run. I like bowling with Sophie at the top. You're bowling with your best bowler, one of, if not the best spinner in the game. It will be a risk to get after Sophie in this first over. In and bowls, Beaumont off the back foot, bit of extra bounce there.
Yeah, that's very true, Scott, and it's not a tactic that Thunder always go with, but they're clearly, you know, trying to go with something different today. So we'll see how that pays off, opening up with Sophie Eccleston.
3-dot balls to begin with. Beaumont waiting, Eccleston in and bowls, and let's defender back down the pitch and gathered by Eccleston off her own bowling, and there's no run.
And there's always a bit of an extra edge, a bit of spice when you're bowling against your England teammate, so they'll both be enjoying this.
And Sophie, as ever, bowling in her sunglasses. In to Beaumont, swept, first runs of the match. Oh, and Sophie Eccleston leans back and says, oh, I can't believe that. Just starting to crank up the pressure, and Tammy Beaumont releases it with a really nice looking sweep shot.
Indeed, so first blood there to Tammy Beaumont, but everyone knows if you get Sophie Eccleston angry by scoring boundaries off her bad balls, then wickets often follow.
One ball left of the over, 4 with that loss. Eccleston to Beaumont, that's a gorgeous shot. Up and over mid-off, down towards the boundary. It plugs in the outfield. It does actually, in the end, reach the rope. There were 2 fielders chasing after it, but unable to flick the ball back, and successive boundaries. But Faith, what a lovely looking shot.
Oh, that was a gorgeous shot, just lofted over the bowler's head. Sophie Eccleston won't be getting any less angry right now. I think that first over definitely belongs to Tammy Beaumont and the Blaze there. And one of the things actually that Thunder will be really looking to do is keep the fielding tight today, to really chase those balls, stop those boundaries, take those catches, things that they haven't yet been doing brilliantly at the start of this season. So good start from the Blaze there.
Yeah, having built up pressure in those first 4 deliveries, and it was really intriguing, that battle developing between Sophie Eccleston and Tammy Beaumont. And the first half of that over was won by the bowler, wasn't it? But Tammy's such a fine player, and the response was terrific from Beaumont.
That's it. That could have gone either way, and this is the kind of contest we love to see in this competition.
Now, Mahika Gaur, there is a bowler I'm looking forward to watching.
Me too. I don't know who's more excited, her to be playing here at Emirates Old Trafford, or the supporters and all the Thunder fans to see her.
Got a slip in place. This young left arm seamer. Oh, and that swings back into Kelly. It's hit firmly back down the pitch. Deflected by Gaur off her own bowling. Picked up at mid-off, and there's no run.
Beautiful shape on that ball.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, isn't it, Mahika Gaur, where she was, of course, Lancashire Thunder and Lancashire Lightning doing their pre-season tours to Dubai. Both squads travelling together. It's angled in towards Kelly and nudged away to mid-wicket. And they get through for a single. Score moves on to 9 without loss. And she was spotted as part of that tour and was kind of picked up on the back of impressive performances bowling in the nets over in the UAE. And now here she is in the Thunder top. It's a great story.
Absolutely, and a lot of the Blaze batters won't have faced her, would have heard about her and certainly seen some of the wickets she's been taking so far in the previous 50-over competition. So, you know, she's got this surprise element. A really good weapon for the Thunder.
Slip in place and Beaumont on strike. Mahika Gaur in and bowls to Beaumont. And that swings back in, but it's a nice shot off the pads. Thumped away through mid-wicket along the ground. Big boundary, but timed beautifully. 4 runs.
Yes, and that's skilled batters like this can use the pace. You know, we see Tammy Beaumont stepping towards there to meet the ball on the up and really connecting well to get that boundary. So, despite the swing that Mahika Gaur is getting, Tammy Beaumont is equal to it at the moment.
There's a lovely social media package put together by Lancashire about Mahika Gaur, which is on Twitter, which is worth watching. Like a 3-minute little package about how she's come about joining the club. That's pushed full but wide of off stump and signalled. Oh, actually, it's been no balled by the umpire. So a free hit as he twirls his finger above his head to signal a free hit.
There's lots of good, actually, speaking of that content, there's lots of good social media content and Lancs TV content that you can find about the Thunder squad just by searching on YouTube or Google.
14 without loss. There's Mahika Gaur from the Brian Statham end. Tall, left arm, seam bowler. Oh, it's clobbered down the pitch from the free hit by Tammy Beaumont. Thuds into the advertising board below us. Firm looking hit, 4 more runs.
Oh wow, Tammy Beaumont just flat batted that past. I mean, whistle past the shoulders. On a shorter bowler probably would have been past the ears of Mahika Gaur there. So Tammy Beaumont coming out really meaning business. She's moving down the track, she's approaching the ball, she's really going with this fearless approach to try and get a good score in the power play.
Well, we're discussing about how the Blaze might go about the power play, and Paul was of the opinion that they'll try and go at it pretty hard, and so far that would be the approach that we've seen. Again, a shuffle down the pitch. Oh, another beautiful hit for 4 more. Blimey, Tammy Beaumont striking it beautifully tonight here at Emirates Old Trafford. 4 more runs hit through mid-off.
Oh, wow. I mean, you know, and the fielders are doing a good job. They're trying their best. It's not like they are misfielding or anything. That ball is just struck so firmly that there's no chance of anybody getting towards it. And I agree with Paul about the power play. You know, something that Thunder failed to do in their innings was to get off to a good start in the power play. So Blaze will definitely want to correct that.
Final ball of the over. Mahika Gaur bowls, and forward goes Beaumont in immaculate defence. And the ball deflects away into the offside. It's picked up by Fee Morris, and that's the end of the over. Well, in the end, it's proved to be a pretty expensive first over for Mahika Gaur. It's gone for 14, but you got to give some credit there to one of the absolutely high-class batter in Tammy Beaumont, who's really had a bit of a go at Mahika Gaur.
Yeah, I mean, Tammy Beaumont, she's been around for a very long time, and Mahika Gaur, we're seeing somebody at the sort of start of their career. domestically and internationally. So it will be really, I'm sure for her, really a huge part of her development, and very exciting to be bowling at the likes of Tammy Beaumont. But she won't want to get smashed across the park again. So we're looking forward to seeing her next over.
That's actually quite interesting, that Faith, isn't it? Yeah, it's often, I mean, she's faced a really good player there in Beaumont, and she's hit her away for some good fours, but it's what comes next, isn't it? How do you respond to that?
Indeed.
Yes, that's what the Thunder coaching staff will be looking at. In Kate Cross, she's got just the most magnificent kind of example and kind of leader of the attack, and great source of kind of insight as well into bowling. So it's a different combination with Cross and Gaur. Again, two players at the kind of different ends of their professional careers. As this pushed away into the offside, pick up and throw towards the stumps at the bowler's end. Sharp work by Deandra Dottin, but that's actually a really good single. They've run well there.
They have indeed, and Kate Cross now in the bowling attack. She made a brilliant contribution with the bat. She's such an experienced cricketer. Doesn't panic when things aren't necessarily going their way, so she'll be certainly looking to take an early strike here.
Yeah, 22 not out from 15 balls with 4 fours for Kate Cross. It just gave the Thunder a bit of a kick-start, didn't it? Right at the back end of their innings, gave them something to work with. Beaumont defending with Ellie Threlkeld standing up behind the stumps. It's pushed away into the offside again. There's no run. Beaumont 20 not out from 12 balls faced, 5 boundaries for Tammy Beaumont. Kate Cross bowling from the James Anderson end. We're 2 deliveries into the 3rd over of the power play. Beaumont swinging and missing. Good take by Threlkeld. Again, there's no run.
Really good start to the over from Kate Cross. So like Tammy Beaumont, she's someone who's been around for a long time and has bowled at Tammy Beaumont and Marie Kelly a lot in this competition and in domestic cricket here in general.
Yeah, for first half of the over. It's been a good one from Cross. What's Beaumont's response? Here it is. High through the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket, and it bounces and spins over the rope. How often do you see it? First half of the over belongs to a bowler or a batter, then the second half, the response comes.
That's right. Tammy Beaumont is just, she's taken a couple of minutes, a couple of deliveries to have a look at Kate Cross, who was bowling a really good line there, but that one was just nicely in the slot for Tammy Beaumont. Barely had to move and just beautifully swung that for a boundary.
24 not out, 27 without loss. Wide this time and chopped away into the offside. Took a horrible bounce just in front of Sophie Eccleston. Yeah, that was a nasty bounce. With Sophie just about getting back up on her feet, but not without a grimace or two. Yeah, not a nice place to feel that. She stood right on one of the practice pitches. Beaumont getting forward and just nudging the ball away into the onside. And that is the end of the Kate Cross over, which has gone for 5 in the end. 27 without loss. 3 overs gone. The Blaze here at Emirates Old Trafford on Lancs TV, chasing 118 to win. And they made a pretty solid start. 27 without loss in the power play.
Definitely, and you know what, the sun's come out really nicely here at Emirates Old Trafford. So I was here earlier during the men's game and for the first innings here, and it was quite overcast. It was pretty chilly. There was different shades of grey in the sky, and having this sunshine out, I think the Blaze batters are going to be probably the happier of the squads to be batting in the sunshine. It's a little bit warmer.
Yeah, it looks a picture now, doesn't it, with the sun coming down. Yeah, we had the floodlights on for the first match, which was a bit unusual at 20 past 2, I think it was, at that point when the floodlights came on.
True,
yeah,
but it looked like that sort of day.
It did. Okay, we're going to see Tara Norris replacing Mahika Gaur from the Brian Statham end. Kelly on strike. She barely seen any strike. A big appeal for LBW there, trying to shape to work it to the leg side. Ball deflects down towards Danielle Collins, and there's no run.
Every time Tara Norris gets the ball in hand, I'm certainly expecting things to happen. You know, she's moved across from the Southern Vipers, a real sort of trophy-winning side. You know, they know how to win, and she's been a key part of that side for so long.
One of the new arrivals for the Thunder. Swatted out towards deep backward square leg by Kelly. And he'll come back for 2. Kelly doubles the total, moves on to 4. 29 without loss. With Beaumont on 24 and Kelly on 4. Yeah, Naomi Datani and Tara Norris, Fee Morris as well. 3 signings for the Thunder through the course of the winter. Of course, Deandra Dottin returning, an overseas player. We've got this Norris, left arm over the wicket. That's picked away through the leg side by Kelly, all the way for 6, I reckon.
That was a beautiful shot by Kelly. Beautiful shot.
Little shuffle back in the crease and then flashed up and over mid-wicket for 6. Oh, she's played a bit of a watching game here, hasn't she? Because Tammy Bowman seems to have dominated the first half of this power play, but she's been given a chance to face some bowling in this over and making the most of it so far. 35 without loss. Thunder need wickets and need them quickly. This is worked out to mid-wicket by Kelly. Gets through for a single and moves her total on to 11 and the score to 36 without loss.
Absolutely, only wickets will do right now, I think. You know, one thing you notice at these opening batters for the Blazer, strike rates are over 100 at the moment, which is where you want to be in a T20. And for much of the Thunder innings, the strike rate was quite low and they weren't able to score quickly. They need to put that pressure back on to the Blaze now.
And there's Norris in again to Beaumont. It's muscled away through mid-wicket and 4 more. Leaking boundaries at the minute of the Thunder. The Blaze are on the march here. They're powering their way up towards this total. It's a really good start in this power play. 40 without loss now.
Yeah, a really good start. A really good start for the Blaze. And you know, for the Thunder, having not taken a wicket and these 2 very good batters going really quite nicely, the pressure is all on the Thunder now, and it's a familiar position, you know, from the last match and the start of this season. They really want to reverse that if they're going to have any chance of winning this match.
Final ball of the 4th over. Here's Norris. And again, out towards deep square leg. It's 6 more. It's 6 by 10 yards or so over the rope. It's such a good hit. What beautiful timing. 46 without loss. That's a gorgeous looking shot.
She's getting so much joy with those leg side 6s, is Tammy Beaumont. And it's really key here, actually, that the Thunder just keep their heads up and try and bowl those good lengths. So, you know, these are really quality bowlers, really very experienced, and we've seen them take hatfuls of wickets over the years. And it's just not clicking yet this season.
No, that was a very, very profitable over for the Blaze. 6 for Kelly, 6 for Beaumont in that, as well as a 4 for Tammy Beaumont. Beaumont's now moved to 34, not out from 18 balls faced. Absolutely rattled away to 34.
Yeah, that strike rate going at over 10, and they only need just under 6 strike rate to complete their total.
Kate Cross, what can Kate Cross do here for the Thunder? In and balls to Kelly. Step to the leg side, playing a miss, taken by Ellie Threlkeld. Dot ball, been a rarity of dot balls.
Yeah, that's the kind of control that Kate Cross can bring. Can she follow it up now with a wicket in this over?
Desperately need to try and break this partnership. They need a rattle of wickets here, the Thunder. It's angled in towards Kelly and worked out to mid-wicket. It's a good stop. And Liberty Heap inside the circle. That's short mid-wicket and there's no run.
That's the kind of fielding that we want to see from Thunder in this innings.
As you say, Faith, with Kate coming back into the attack, you do sense a little bit of calm potentially. Short and pulled by Kelly. Should be cut off at deep mid-wicket. It will be. Jog back for 2. Kelly moves on to 13 not out. 48 without loss. She leads the attack so wonderfully, doesn't she, Kate Cross? And the skipper turning to the most experienced seam bowler to try and get a bit of control and try and find a breakthrough somewhere. A little change to the field here. Fielder coming up from deep third. It's in front of the media centre. In comes Cross and balls again. Let's play back down the pitch by Kelly. Another dot ball. 48 without loss. It's a contrast from what we've seen in the previous couple of overs, isn't it? From control that Cross has been able to generate here.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's good to. That's what the Thunder needed to get that pressure, start putting that pressure back on the Blaze somehow, force them to make a shot. It leads to an error.
Cross balls again. It's flicked out towards the leg side. Kind of stepped to the leg side of Kelly. I think Cross followed a foolish ball, which was flicked away to mid-wicket. Liberty Heap fields, and again there's no run. So 2 runs off it.
I don't think that the Blaze are going to slow down here. You know, still in the power play, even though they're striking so well, they're going to keep going for it.
Final ball of the 5th over. Cross in and bowls, and that's chipped up towards mid-on, and they've got through for a single. It's a no ball. No ball.
Oh, my shoulders just sink there.
Make good sense. I can see them droop.
Oh, insult to injury. A no ball. I think that's the second no ball in this innings so far. And of course, you know, no balls are part of cricket, part of T20 cricket, but just sort of exemplifies the fielding innings that from the Thunder so far, things just haven't been going quite right, and those sorts of errors.
Brings up the 50 that for the Blaze. 50 without loss. Cross in and balls. That's top-edged over the keeper, down towards the boundary. And it's going to be 4 runs, and that no ball with Kate Cross overstepping has produced top edge over the keeper, and it's brought 4 more runs. It's the end of the 5th over. 54 without loss after 5, and what the run rate soared up with the way that the Blaze started. It was just checked a little bit in that Kate crossover, but they're way ahead of where they need to be at this stage, and look in complete control of this run chase.
Yeah, they do, and you know, I was talking about my body language and my shoulders drooping, but it's important that the Thunder just keep alert and alive, stay lively out there in the field. I mean, it's a rare no ball for Kate Cross. She's not exactly known for bowling too many of those, but sometimes, you know, things can get contagious when it's not going your way in the field, and little misfields and things start to happen. So it'll be up to the skipper to really keep them alert and alive, and communicating with each other, really keeping things tight in the field.
Just seeing there a few kind of clouds out towards the city centre, but nothing too threatening. The forecast is nice and dry. And we're going to see the return of Sophie Eccleston. That's off the back foot by Kelly, and just weave down towards wide third. Liberty Heat will catch up with it. They think about coming back for a third, but decide that 2's enough. 56 without loss. Kelly moves on to 16 not out.
Yeah, Deandra Dottin managing to just get a hand to that backward cut from Marie Kelly. He saved a run or so.
Kelly on 16. Here's Eccleston around the wicket, balls and balls Kelly. Well, the Thunder were desperately searching for a breakthrough. They've gone back to their gun bowler, Sophie Eccleston, and she's managed to break this partnership. She bowled Kelly for 16.
Right, that's been the talk so far from us all here in the commentary booth. They need a breakthrough. Where are they going to find that wicket? And when you're getting to that stage where, you know, who better than Sophie Eccleston to call upon when you really need a breakthrough? And, you know, 99.9% of the time she delivers.
And she delivered just when Thunder needed it the most. No surprise, I don't think, that Ellie Threlkeld going back for a second over to Kate Cross, going back for a second over to Sophie Eccleston. The game could be done if you're leaving these bowlers till later in the match.
Exactly. This is the time. This is the time to get your key strike bowlers on. Blaze have got off to a flyer, 56 for the loss of just 1 wicket now. We're still in the power play. 4 deliveries left in this 6th over. It's a really crucial breakthrough from Sophie Eccleston there.
Just brings out Nat Sciver-Brunt instead.
Yep, you know, got to get through them all.
Got to get through them all, yep. So Sciver-Brunt, the new batter. So we've got Eccleston to Sciver-Brunt now.
She's got a face 4 from Sophie Eccleston, so again, really tasty matchup here.
56 for 1, Eccleston in. And Sciver-Brunt goes off the back foot and drives up to mid-off. And there is no run. There's a real sense of international flair in this fixture in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, live from Emirates Old Trafford on Lancs TV, 5 Sports Extra, BBC Sport website and app as well. Just worked away to backward point by Sciver-Brunt, and there is no run. Both these sides playing their second match of this group stage. Eccleston in and bowls again. Forward goes Sciver-Brunt, and playing Sophie Eccleston with a lot of respect.
Indeed, she's not going to take a risk at this point.
Final ball of the 6th over and the final ball of the power play. Eccleston to Sciver-Brunt, and that's driven up towards mid-on, where Kate Cross fields, and there is no run. Will Cross bowl a third? She's having a little chat with the captain here. They've just got a breakthrough. Will she go with another Kate Cross over from the Jimmy Anderson end? I reckon, Faith, that she might be tempted to.
Yeah, I think she might, and I think it would be a good idea, to be honest. At 56 for the loss of just 1 wicket after 6 overs. The Blaze are going to want to get this done as quickly as they possibly can.
No, they're going to have a change. It's going to be Fee Morris coming into the attack. Kate Cross has bowled 2 overs. Has 2 left, but they're going to turn to Fee Morris. We're through the power play, 56 for 1. Thanks to Faith, we'll bring Paul back in to the commentary box for the next little passage of play. As the Thunder, well, they've made 1 breakthrough, but they need to back it up with a couple more. So the fielding restrictions have been relaxed. So Fee Morris has got 2 fielders behind her, long off and long on, and then deep mid-wicket and deep backward square leg. Here's Morris to Beaumont. Now, has Beaumont just been stumped by Threlkeld? At least that's the appeal. Let's take a little look back on the replay here, bringing Tammy Beaumont forward. No, I think just got back in the nick of time.
It's a double appeal. She went for stumping, and then when that was given not out, she went for a caught behind.
Ooh,
double appeal.
Cheeky.
Really close. That might have been a lot closer on TV replay, I must admit. Very hard to give out with the naked eye.
There's Morris in to Beaumont. Looking to sweep it. LBW. Beaumont's gone. Well, that's the wicket that Thunder so desperately needed. The bowling change by Ellie Threlkeld's worked to treat Fee Morris, trapping Tammy Beaumont. LBW. Umpire Horton.
That's out. That's out. That is absolutely stone dead.
You're not reviewing that one?
Well, maybe I would have. But, yeah, great little passage here for the Thunder to get back in a couple of wickets, changes the course, the momentum of the game. Yeah, remove the 2 openers who'd played really nicely. Tammy Beaumont had struck the ball better than anyone today. In both of these games, she had struck it lovely, and the Thunder had it just looks like two teams playing with two different sets of confidence levels out there at the moment. You've got a Blaze who are moved venue, look like they got nice new kit, all that sort of stuff, change of name. All of a sudden they are flying and they are playing with some confidence. The Thunder look a team. There's a bit of teapot action going on in the Thunder. They look a team short on confidence. They look a team with a little bit of poor me's going on. They lacked good intent with the bat, and it didn't go up well up front. Maybe they can get back in, but they just look short of confidence, the Thunder, for me.
56 for 2. Georgie Boyce, the new batter. It's a lovely shot. Oh, it's 4 runs. It's a gorgeous way to get off the mark. I'm a really high-class player.
It's a lovely shot, off spin. She's hit a lovely cover drive, lovely cricket shot just through. It's a lovely start, just lent on it and timed. But have the Thunder won a game of cricket this year?
Yes, in the Rachel Hale Flint, yes.
Are you sure?
I think.
I like putting these stats on you so you can give you.
You do, I know you do. They've had a bit of rain around in that competition as well. There's an attempt to sweep by Georgie Boyce, but signalled as a wide by the umpire. (61 for 2), halfway through the 7th. Boyce on 4. Here comes Morris in and bowls. Boyce plays forward and defends, and again there is no run.
Waiting here for you to update.
I didn't realise you were, sorry.
Update me. Nice, lovely start for Morris here.
Morris bowls to Boyce. Another appeal for LBW. Ellie Threlkall is up and down, desperately pleading towards the umpire. A little shake of the head, and not out is the signal. Final ball of the 7th over coming up.
Inside edge there.
61 for 2. Boyce on 4. Here comes Morris. Boyce going back, carving the ball away for 4 more. Just behind square on the offside. Well, Georgie Boyce has hit 2 4s, and both have been timed to perfection.
They have. The 2 shots she's played before, they have come off her bat like a rocket. She is really started well here. 7 overs gone, 65 for 2. Change of bowler here.
Thunder in the Rachel Hale Flint Trophy, the 50-over competition. Play 5, 2 no results, and they've had a couple of rain-affected games. They have lost 2 and tied 1. They tied a game here in rather dramatic circumstances. So they play 5 without a win in the 50-over competition at the start of that. We've now paused for that 50-over competition. It will come back later in the summer. So
and if you look at the Rachel Hale Flint Trophy table, the Blaze are at the top, the Thunder at the bottom.
Mahika Gaur in and bowls, and Siva Brunt leaves that ball.
Probably gives you a bit of a snapshot of where these teams are with confidence levels and how they're playing. The Thunder haven't won a game of cricket. They potentially are going to head into June without winning a game of cricket. That's it's not, no wonder they lack a little bit of confidence at the moment. They just probably need to get their season going in one of these formats and get off the mark, and then all of a sudden some of their class players will shine through.
Gaur bowls to Siva Brunt, drives off the back foot through the offside out towards deep extra cover. Liberty Heap Fields. Score ticks along to 66 for 2. The equation is 52 more runs for the Blaze to win. That's 76 deliveries and 8 wickets to get them. And 2 very good players currently out in the middle. Boyce, against her former side, is unbeaten on 8. Georgie Boyce, a little tap of the bat. In comes Gaur, bowls. It's deflected away towards backward square leg. Threlkall, the keeper, can catch up with it. Could be a leg by that. It is. No bat on that. Score moves up to 67 for 2. Boyce remains on 8. We're halfway through the 8th over. Brings Siverbrunt back on strike. Well, it's slowed things down a little, hasn't it? That little rattle of wickets. Gaur bowls left arm over the wicket. Oh, saying that's muscled away off the back foot. Down towards the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4 runs for Siverbrunt. And just when you felt that maybe a little bit of pressure was starting to build, having lost a couple of quick wickets, the latest being the big one, Tammy Beaumont. Siverbrunt releases the pressure by mossing that one away for 4 runs. 71 for 2.
Nice shot from Siverbrunt. She sort of sat deep in her crease here. Yeah, wanting the ball. Yeah, the big bounce in this wicket as it has been all day. She's sort of sitting deep in the crease, you know, looking to pull the ball into the leg side.
Gaur comes left arm over ball, swings back in, goes again, clubbed away, 4 more. And Nat Siverbrunt just taking all that little bit of pressure that the Thunder were just trying to build up, having picked up 2 big wickets. It's resulted in the captain coming up to have a word with a young bowler. Difficult there, so she's bowling against a higher class opponent in Nat Siverbrunt, but Mahika Gaur has had a bit of treatment tonight. Gone for 23 so far.
Yeah, it's obviously not been her night so far. She looks like she's got all the attributes actually. She's tall, left arm. It looks like she's got a lot of talent there. You know, obviously not been her night tonight. I think sometimes, you know, her field has maybe not been right for what she has needed to bowl and what she's wanted to bowl. And I think maybe as a young bowler, young cricketer, is she setting her field? Is she bowling to a field that someone else is? It's all part of the journey, part of the learning curve, really.
Well, a bit of a conflab there between bowler and captain. And that's sliced away for 4 more. There might be another conflab coming up now. It's the end of the 8th over. And the score's moved on to 79 for 2. And Nat Siverbrunt got a couple of gorgeous looking shots, Paul. You must admire those hits. And well on course to blaze to win this match here at Emirates Old Trafford. A few thoughts from you, Paul, and then Kevin's going to come and join you for a bit.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, both of these games here today have taken similar paths, really. Yeah, Leicester Foxes really struggled with the bat, managed to get 99. Looked like they were playing on a different pitch, and then the team batting second in both of these games have just come out and blasted it 8, 9, 10 and over, and made the first team, you know, really, you know, off the pace and really below par. You know, similar formats. You know, I think, you know, this is a good move to bring Eccleston back on into the game. If the Thunder have got any chance, yeah, Eccleston needs to have bowled her 4 overs by the time they lose the game. She's their world-class performer. She needs to be, you know, have ball in hand, 2 overs, 1 to 10. Yeah, she needs to bowl 2 overs straight here just to give them an option to try and win a game of cricket here, the Thunder. But the Blades have played incredibly well.
Yes, they have. They have. All on the home side here. All on Eccleston at the moment for a 3rd over. And bowls that to Boyce, who works it for no run onto the onside. Be nice to think that the Thunder could pull something out here, but it is going to be a major challenge for them to do so. In front of a home support, give them something to cheer. As again, she's in and bowls. I think it was a low full toss, which is just driven in the end up to long on, a single. So Boyce moves to 9, takes the score up to 80 for 2. But certainly the first game was one-sided. This not quite as one-sided, but it's been all the blaze really. So Boyce and Siverbrunt are the not-out pair. Siverbrunt is now on strike. He's on 13 from 9 balls faced, and just works that away. That's enough space for them to be alert. Good running from the pair. Just went a few yards on the onside. Good communication between them, and they pick up another single. Moves to 81 for 2. Probably the best weather we've had of the day as well. Is this late afternoon turns into early evening. Next delivery, that's been whipped away. Lovely looking shot through extra cover. It's going to be 4 for Boyce. Races past the infield. There are 2 or 3 out there, but it's found the gap, perfectly placed. It's a boundary, and they move on to 85 for 2 in the 9th.
Again, lovely striking from Boyce. Uses the crease well, depth of the crease. Everson slightly short there Yeah, there's 4 in the ring in the offside, and she's pierced the gap, and it's certainly stayed hit. Boyce has been impressive, and so if she's hit them, they've stayed hit. Yeah, their timing has been impeccable today. She's only 13 off 8, but yeah, she's striking the ball lovely.
3 fours to her name so far. She won't get a 4 there, just dabbed down towards the edge of the circle. That short third, won't get past the field, and no run.
I think you were being kind, Kevin, you said this isn't as quite as one-sided as the first game.
Well, yeah. It's had a slightly different story to it, I guess, but this one's driven straight back up to Eccleston, low down to her left-hand side. And 85 for 2 after 9. Boyce 13, Sivabrunt on 14. So Eccleston 1 for 16 from 3 overs. And you know, an awful lot said about Gaur. She's still so very young. A lot of anticipation for what she can go on and achieve in the game, but she's gone for 27 runs from 2 overs here. It's been a tough day for her. We can see Kate Cross brought back into the action here or not? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, it looks like Cross is going to come on.
Yeah. You know,
I think this is the right move.
Yeah, capable of doing, doing something that just somehow shakes the confidence and the nerve of the Blaze.
Yeah, the Thunder have got to take wickets. They've got to go to their main strike bowlers, and who think they're going to take wickets. Eccleston is one, and Cross is probably another. Yeah, they've got to go to their lead bowlers. They've got to try and get in the game. They've got to try and do something. You could remove these 2, get them somehow 3 or 4 down, 5 down, and then see if they can pull it from the game that they are ultimately looking like they're going to lose.
This is Cross's 3rd over. First 2 went for 13. That's worked away by Sivabrunt behind square leg side from one England player to another. A single for Sivabrunt. She moves to 15 and takes her team up to 86 for 2 in the 10th over. Earlier today, all out for 99 were Leicestershire in the penultimate over, and Lancashire got there in the 12th over. 11.3 overs when they got to 105 for 2. Boyce meantime on 13 here. Next ball, and that's in the air, but it's going to be safe, and it's not going to go to the boundary. At least it shouldn't do. There's a fielder out there. Good tumbling stop. They'll go through for 2. For one moment I thought maybe that had actually gone a little bit more through mid-wicket, a little bit to the left of the fielder out there, but it was decent running in the end, which prevented that from going to the boundary and over. But still runs on the board, 88 for 2 in this 10th over. And it continues to be one-way traffic, really. Cross looking for a wicket here. Shorter ball, that's in the air, and she gets one. It's Boyce who's gone. She's been caught at backward point. Well, they need more of it, plenty more of it, but Kate Cross, with all her experience, it pays off. Take a look at that on the replay again. A little bit shorter. Not too sure about the width, but it was a good high catch taken there at backward point by Deandra Dottin, and a 3rd wicket down. As I say, it's something, but they need much more.
Yeah, look, good catch by Dottin there at backward point. A little bit unlucky to fall hitting a half track at a backward point, but they need all the help they can get. Really, the Thunder, and it's a wicket. It gives them an opportunity, and Kate Cross has come on, and she's bowled really well actually. 2.3 overs, 1 for 16. Bowled in a power play when they were going strong, and she's fought hard for the Thunder here with the ball, and given them a stiff of a chance. 13 needed for the Blaze. Yeah, they should do that comfortably. Yeah, but if they keep taking wickets, you never know.
No, you don't. Strange things happen, but this is going to be mightily strange for this. Just 30 more runs required here by the Blaze, and they've got over 10 overs to get them, 10.3 overs remaining. And the new batter is Bryce. She's out there in the middle right now, Catherine Bryce, alongside Sivabrunt. Sivabrunt on 15, but Bryce is about to face her first delivery, and Kate Cross is just... She got the ball in hand, is it? It's been returned to her? It has. We're just waiting for the batter to settle, and maybe for the music to be switched off as well. But I think they wait for the bowler to come in, and they do. Cross now in approaches again. A shorter ball, jumping high. Threlkeld, the wicketkeeper, to gather that, as if to pounce on those bails and the stumps, but We welcome BBC Radio Lancashire all frequency listeners. That sounds like a very special club. Welcome, welcome. 88 for 3 in the 10th over. Bryce faces a second ball into the pads and into the offside, but you join us on all frequencies. With sadly the Thunder in a bit of trouble here. It's going to be really difficult for them to get anything from this, because the opposition, the Blaze, only require 30 more from 61 balls left of this competition. And this game here today, Thunder managed just 117 for 6 from their 20 overs. Heap with a 26 off 32. Threlkeld a 22 off 25. Kate Cross is actually doing some decent things with the ball now, but earlier with the bat tried her best with a 22 not out of 15 deliveries. But 117 always looking way, way too short. And it's certainly got that appearance right now, with the Blaze going along nicely. Catherine Bryce on strike, her third ball. Again, it's Cross who's in, a little bit fuller this time, but driven into the offside. And no run, and that's the completion of 10 overs at 88 for 3. Bryce faced 3 balls, she had it off the mark. Siva Brunt 15 from 11, and the Blaze have lost Kelly for 16. The bowling of Eccleston off 15 balls. Tammy Beaumont, oh, she played some glorious strokes and shots for a 38 off 21 LBW to Morris. And we've just seen Boycott caught high by Dottin. Backward point off Cross for 15 off 12, leaving us at Siva Brunt not out, along with Catherine Bryce at the moment. But the Blaze are looking strong, very strong. Early stages of the competition, it's been a double header. Just a reminder again for those just joining us on Radio Lancashire, big win for the men earlier by 8 wickets. Gosh, they look so formidable and strong in the competition. We had Mark Chilton on, actually talking a little bit earlier. I just talked about, you know, the comparative strength maybe of this squad they have gathered for this year over other years where they've been successful as well within the competition. He says, well, maybe you've just had a bit of luck in the fact that some of the IPL players have come back because their respective franchise teams haven't progressed as maybe some expected them. So they've got a few more on offer, including, of course, Butler, who joins next week as well. But we saw Phil Sott, terrific today. And this time it's Norris who's in and bowling, and that's just out of the reach of the fielder. Eccleston, I think, moving to a right-hand side there. That's going to be 4 runs. That flew off the bat as the Blaze more than edge, but power on really towards this total.
Yeah, they are powering onto this total, and Norris is, you know, they've gone back to Norris here. It's hard to tell. I think I would have carried on with Eccleston and Cross. Yeah, Eccleston and Cross between them, bowled 6 overs. Yeah, 2 for 32. Yeah, the rest, you know, have sort of gone around the park a little bit. Now it blows the game apart. Their only chance was Eccleston and Cross.
Norris is putting a second over, and that's worked away off the pads round on the onside. They'll go through for 1, come back for 2. In the end, the throw wasn't that great. Didn't really challenge, put pressure upon the batters coming back for that second run.
But saying that, the batting side would understand that, would appreciate that. Yeah, they could see off Eccleston's 4th over and Cross's 4th, and all of a sudden they've still got 8 overs remaining to knock off 30 runs. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's record here. Ultimately, the Thunder have got enough runs on the board to win this game, this cricket game, really.
Just think about a slight change. They think about it, but I don't think they actually affect a change. It all stays the same. For Tara Norris bowling from the Jimmy Anderson in the far end from our commentary box. She comes around the wicket, left armour in and bowls to the right-hander. That's no catch. Is it taken cleanly? I think it has been, and I think it's the end of Siva Brunt for 21. Good low catch. She looks back to the umpire just to confirm. I think as a team they'll look to each other there to say, was that taken cleanly? But it looked good from where we were. We'll take a look at it again. Worked away there towards mid-wicket. Low catch. A tumbling stop. Good piece of fielding. Good catch taken. And Siva Brunt has gone for 21. To say every time a wicket goes, we say there's so much more needed. But that was a superb take. Nice and low.
It was
and
a really
big wicket.
Catch, really good catch. I think from a distance it didn't look like it carried to me from 120 metres away, 3 floors up. But yeah, you've got to go with the player's reaction. Very hard to see on the replay there. Yeah, she took it.
I I think that could be. Is that Serin Smale? Just looking at the.
Yep.
Yeah. So on as a 12th here.
Substitute fielder.
Yeah.
It's a good catch. Yeah, and it's a big wicket. It's a big wicket. Yeah, Shiver Brunt gone. This is all what the Thunder needed. Two new batters in. 2 batters on 0. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit late. Yeah, but the Blaze have kept going hard at this total and kept being positive. Yeah, their net run rate will benefit from this. Yeah, 24 needed from 10 overs. But they're hanging in there, the Thunder. Hanging in. Who knows now at 4 down? 2 more wickets, all of a sudden they're 100 for 6.
Sarah Glenn is the new batter, both of them on naught at the moment, and that's been helped along very finely. Down here to Gaur, who gets down to that with the left arm throw. 1 more to the total. And that's been, it's off the bat, just got a little nick on the bat. Down here fine, so Glenn's on to 1. 95 for 4, but well done to Serin Smale. I'm not too sure who she's on for, but she's made her way on there and been very effective for a very good low catch. She was sort of always dipping on her and took it well. Catherine Bryce is back on strike. She's yet to get off the mark, faced 3 balls previously. And it's Norris who's got 2 deliveries left of her second over, the 11th of the innings. And this one again is worked towards mid-wicket, but this time it falls short of the fielder. Silver Brunt, I thought initially was happy just to walk, then just stopped to think and just check back with the umpires that they were happy that was a clean catch.
Yeah, I think so, and that's fair. Yeah, I would think it was fair from the batter, Silver Brunt, to do that.
Yep.
You know, it didn't look like it carried a great deal, but the fielder said it did, and she walks off.
Next ball, sort of edge really out into the offside. Wasn't cleanly hit, but it's effective for a single. And it takes the score to 96 for 4 after 11 overs. So Bryce on 1, Glenn on 1. They only need 22 from 54 balls, and now with 6 wickets standing remaining for that to happen. I shall move aside for Scott to come in. Game comes towards an end, and plenty of people want to talk about the Jason Roy decision as well. That is decision to end that incremental contract with England to go off and play in the major league in the US. So lots going on. Let's see where this one's going to go. We think we know, but who knows?
Yeah, Eccleston looks like she's going to come back and bowl her 4th there. Nice for Norris to get a wicket after her first over. You know, it figures, still 2 overs, 27 for 1 and over 2 overs. But I think, nice for her to get a wicket. 4 down now. The Blaze in response, big over for Eccleston. Yeah, she could pick up another one. All of a sudden, you never know. But I feel it's too little, too late. Interesting. Yeah, it looked like 140, 150, and it would have been a hell of a game.
Yeah, just short again with the bat. As Eccleston's in to Bryce, that's worked out towards square leg. So rather sharp pick up and throw towards the keeper. Maybe a little bit too much on it by Tara Norris, but no damage done. 96 for 4, so 22 needed off 53. And Eccleston to bowl out. This is their 4th and final over. It's a nice little reverse paddle by Catherine Bryce. Deandra Dottin will catch up with it. And Bryce comes back and runs 2. The score moves on to 98 for 4. A target of 118. It's for Thunder, it started, well, in the worst possible way, really, losing Emma Lamb in the first over of their innings, and then Deandra Dottin followed shortly afterwards, and 2 of their key batters out early on in the power play. As Bryce was playing a missing at this delivery from Sophie Eccleston, and never really kind of recovered, just stumbled their way up towards a total, thanks to to Kate Cross, 22 from 15, Ellie Threlkrell 22 as well. There's Eccleston bowls again, it's through to the keeper and there's no run, but just not enough to work with. 98 for 4. But can Sophie Eccleston prize out another one here? In and balls to Bryce, who sweeps across that front pad, picked up at short fine leg. Oh, direct hit from the throw by Mahika Gaur. Well, maybe there's still something in this, because it's 5 down now, the Blaze. 98 for 5, need 118 to win.
Yeah, they're just stuttering a little bit. They made a poor decision to set off the non-striker. as well. 45. Yeah, it's a poor dismissal, to be honest. Glenn sort of set off and then held a hand up. They're just stuttering a little bit here, the Blaze, but well within their reach. 8 overs to go. They need 2 point something and over. Yeah, I think it's flattering the Thunder a little bit, but who knows? Who knows? Scott, who knows?
Nadine de Klerk, the new batter coming out. It was a good piece of work by Mahika Gaur to pick up.
A great pickup.
Yeah,
great pickup. One-handed pickup in their opposite hand, which is what sort of did them. It was brilliant. Great pickup.
To the gloves of the skipper, Ellie Threlkeld, with the black wicket-keeping gloves. I'm not quite formidable, those black wicket-keeping gloves. A ferocious pair of gloves on behind the stumps. And she flicked off the bails and, well, run out for 3. Catherine Bryce. So de Klerk, the new batter. Oh, and she's bowled straight away by Sophie Eccleston. Well, the Thunder are fighting themselves back into this game. 98 for 6. De Klerk's gone. First bowl faced by Sophie Eccleston, and it's a beauty. 12 overs gone, and the Blaze are stumbling towards the finishing line. The Thunder have got a chance of trying to get themselves back into this. 6 down now. They still need 20 to win. Well,
it's game on now. The Blaze are doing everything to lose a game that they should lose out of 100 times. Yeah. That's a nice delivery. Eccleston has bowled really well, hasn't she? She's shown her class, been brilliant. 4 overs, 2 for 18. De Klerk is just a straight ball, really. Gone back to a ball that she should have gone forward to, and it's slid on nicely, and Eccleston's gone through her defences. It's a shame for the Thunder that Eccleston doesn't have any overs left, but look, she's given them a chance. All of a sudden they run out, things happen, the game changes quickly. And who knows now, 98 for 6, it was called for 10 minutes ago. Put 2 on it at 4 down, all of a sudden 98 for 6, a bit of a wobble, a couple of tight overs. They're throwing it away here, the Blaze.
Well, they're in danger of doing just that. We'll have a little change in the commentary box. We'll bring Faith Florence back into the commentary position. Paul will have a break. And we'll see Fee Morris returning as well. Well, it's game on now, isn't it? 98 for 6. So there's 48 deliveries left to get 20 runs. But there's a bit of pressure now on the Blaze for the first time really in the match. There's Morris bowls to Glenn. That's driven into the offside, picked up at extra cover. There's no run. Faith, we've got a game on.
We certainly do. A little bit of excitement late on in this innings. That's what we love to see.
Long off and long on back behind the bowler on the boundary rope. And Glenn from the crease trying to force the ball away. Deandra Dotting is lurking just backward of point. She stops the ball, no run.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd coming alive a little bit, and the energy of the field is picking up there a bit.
98 for 6. 2 dot balls to start the 13th over. Should be 3 dot balls. It is. It's a good stop inside the circle at extra cover.
Excellent. I mean, in my opinion, the Blaze have been winning more off their bowling than their batting. So I've always felt that there was an opportunity for the Thunder once the Blaze were at the crease.
Danny Collins with a stop there at extra cover. That's play back down to Fee Morris. Again, there's no run, so 4 successive dot balls. See Ellie Threlkeld, the keeper, applauding her bowler. Potentially watching the team get right back into this contest. And driven away through mid-off for a single. But just 1, so just the 1 run so far from this 13th over. 99 for 6. Means it's 19 to win.
Yeah, and that when Mahika Gaur fielded that ball and run out, they managed to run out the batter, so I can't remember who was at the crease at the time, but that really seemed to give some momentum back in favour of the Thunder.
Yeah, Catherine Bryce would run out by
That's right, yeah.
Mahika Gaur for 3. Final ball of the over, Morris in, and Bryce drives this ball through mid-on for a single. Up comes Sophie Eccleston from the boundary to field. That brings up the 100 on a bright but breezy day here on at Emirates Old Trafford. The feel of the match really has changed a little bit with the little rattle of wickets. What does the captain do here?
Yeah, I think that the boundaries aren't flowing as freely as they were before for the Blaze, so it's working. The changes that the skipper's made, and having Ecclestone and Kate Cross, actually it seemed it was a good decision in the end to hold back and have those spare overs that they could bowl now, because they are affecting the match now and giving a little bit of hope to the Thunder side. And with the Blaze just under a little bit of pressure with this quick cluster of wickets that have fallen, the last thing they'll want to see are the likes of Kate Cross and Sophie Ecclestone still to face.
That's exactly what they've got coming now, because Kate Cross is going to return to the attack from the Brian Statham end. Sophie Ecclestone's bowled out 4 overs 2 for 18. Mahika Gaur's been a wee bit expensive tonight so far, 2 overs for 27. Tara Norris 2 overs 1 for 27, and Fee Morris 2 overs 1 for 11. Kate Cross 3 overs 1 for 16. So here we go, over number 14. So it's 18 to win off 42. There's loads of balls left, but sense of pressure being built. This is driven away into the offside by Bryce out towards point, and gets through for a single. Sarah Bryce, score moves on to 101 for 6. So 17 required, brings Sarah Glenn back on strike. It is an absolutely beautiful evening now. Best part of the day.
Oh, indeed.
A bit of blue sky and a little bit of cloud above us, but yeah, it's a really nice, pleasant end to the day. Short ball from Cross. Glenn rocks back and looks to pull it. Top edges it over the keeper down towards Mahika Gaur at fine leg. It's worth 1 run for the Blaze, 102 for 6. It's 16 needed now to win from 40 balls.
Yeah, and it looks, of course, like an equation that the Blaze are always going to win at this stage, or they'll think that they ought to. But another cluster of wickets, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, Cross over the wicket and balls again. It's driven firmly square of the wicket out towards Liberty Heap on the deep point boundary. Throw comes in, slightly awkward one for Threlkeld. They take a single, 103 for 6. Bryce on 3 and Glenn on 3.
It's really important that the Thunder finish well here, even though it looks like the game is possibly out of their hands, but there's still plenty that they can take from the end of a game like this. The way they finish, can they take a couple more wickets, and go down fighting, and just take some measure of confidence into the next game.
Comes Cross, ball's full ball and off stump. That's a gorgeous shot, punched away through the covers. That's 4. Glenn driving the ball firmly along the ground. It's a lovely looking shot. Perhaps Sarah Glenn of the opinion, let's try and get this done as quickly as we can. And that's 4 more towards that victory target. 117 for 6 now.
Yeah, Sarah Glenn, I mean, the batters at the crease now can afford, Sarah Bryce as well, can afford to take a look at some balls and then really just put away any bad balls that they get.
2 balls left of the over. Cross in and bowls, and Glenn defends into the offside. There is no run. Back here again on Saturday for another T20 doubleheaders. Looking forward to this one again. 2:30 start for the Thunder against the Sunrisers, and then the evening game is Lightning against the Outlaws. So we've got the Charlotte Edwards Cup from 2:30 this coming Saturday. Thunder against the Sunrisers, and the Blast from 6:30 in the evening. Cross in, bowls to Glenn. That's pulled out through the leg side, just in front of square. And Glenn gets through for 1 run and moves on to 8. It's the end of the over. And after a little wobble, the Blaze now, I think, Faith, will feel as though things have settled down and it's all back on track.
Yeah, they'll certainly feel that way, and justifiably so. I think the really good work was done in the power play. The opening batter set up a really good platform, so that despite losing these clusters of wickets, after the 10th over, they're still in a very strong position and should win the game based on that beautiful platform that was set. And of course, Thunder will rue not scoring more in their innings, putting a bigger total on the board. But I still feel like a wicket or two to take into Saturday would be a good result for Thunder right now.
Fee Morris to continue from the Jimmy Anderson end, bowling to Sarah Glenn. That's swept up and over fine leg and down towards the boundary for 4 runs. And it's down into to single figures now for the Blaze to clinch victory. 112 for 18, 112 for 6 rather, in the 15th over. A target 118 to win. And Sarah Glenn, little enterprising knock here, has moved to 12 from 11 to try and push their team over the line. 6 more needed to win. Again, looking to try and sweep it around the corner. Well, they've got through for a run. Slightly awkward looking kind of half pull shot from Glenn down on one knee. 113 for 6. So 5 required from 34 balls for the Blaze to win this T20 match here at Emirates Old Trafford. You're with Lancs TV, 5 Sports Extra and BBC Radio Lancashire, bringing you the closing stages of this T20 double header. There's Morris to Bryce. That's driven straight to extra cover. Well, you wanted a wicket, or at least a couple, towards the back end of the match to try and take a bit of momentum into Saturday, Faith, and you've got at least one.
Yep, excellent. And, you know, in that previous delivery, Fee Morris was just a bit frustrated, whipping the bails off when the batter was safe, because, you know, they scored a run there for a really awkward shot, and maybe there could have been a chance for a run out. So, yeah, it's about channeling that frustration, you know, using that anger, not feeling defeated. You know, you're okay, you're about to lose the second game of the season, but there's still things you can do in a game of cricket that that can just really bolster the confidence of the side. You know, they're really good players. It's a great squad. Let's take some wickets to affect the things that we can change, and keep going till the very last ball. That kind of attitude, that kind of mindset will hopefully help them turn things around later in the season.
Danny Collins taking the catch at extra cover. So 7 down, 113 for 7. Need 5 more runs to win. 33 balls remaining for the Blaze. And Fee Morris picking up the 7th wicket.
Gets an encouraging pat on the shoulders there from Sophie Eccleston, one of the real leaders in this side.
Lucy Hyam is the new batter, looking out towards that leg side boundary, which is slightly the shorter of the two. There's 2 fielders lurking out there in the distance at deep mid-wicket and deep square leg. 113 for 7. Hyam just gets forward and just pushes the ball into the offside, and there is no run, so a dot ball. 2 balls left, the 15th.
I listened to an interview with Lucy Hyam, and she was saying how, you know, they have a feeling that
she waits for Morris and tries to carve this ball, wide ball away, but straight to the keeper, no run.
The feeling within the squad of the Blaze is that everybody is contributing. You know, it's not just down to 1, 2 or 3 players. Both with bat and ball, somebody different is contributing something to the game each time.
I am looking for a first run. This is a wide down the leg side, down towards the boundary. It won't reach the rope, but they will run 2. Wide signal by the umpire, and victory within touching distance now for the Blaze. Just 2 more required. 116 for 7. 2 runs away from making it 2 wins from 2, and the Thunder, it will be 2 defeats from 2 at the start of the Charlotte Edwards Cup. 1 ball left of this over to complete the task for the Blaze. Morris in and bowls, and Hyam tries to run it down to third, but a play and a miss and taken by Ellie Threlkeld, and there is no run. That is the end of the over. And despite that little flurry of wickets, that little bit of a wobble that Blaze had, I think Sarah Glenn deserves a lot of credit here. She seems to have just kind of wrestled control back, and this 13 from 12 is basically going to get a team over the line when it looked like there may be a bit of drama at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with a bit of drama, but I think the Blaze will feel that they always have that under control. Second win of the competition, and you can really see what Lucy High meant by everybody contributing. It's a real team effort throughout the season so far, and in this game as well. There's, nobody's kind of done amazing theatrics to take the game away. There's no sort of like outstanding contributions or real star performances, but just a really solid team performance. All the bowlers are taking at least one wicket, and the batters doing just enough. And when things are in trouble, somebody stepping up each time. And it's a really confident unit, firing well, and perhaps we're seeing something a bit of the opposite in the Thunder.
Well, this looks like potentially this will be the final over of the match. There's 2 more required to win the game. It will be Tara Norris to potentially send down the final over of this this day, this T20 doubleheader. And enjoyed a doubleheader of cricket. As I say, we've got it again on Saturday as well, starting at 2:30. Here comes Norris. 2 to win for the Blaze, but not here. That's worked into the onside, picked up at mid-wicket, and there is no run. If you're just new to, just joining the latter part of the coverage here today, we had the T20 men's fixture, which was an emphatic win for Lancashire Lightning, winning by 8 wickets. With 51 balls remaining, it was an excellent win for Lightning over the Leicestershire Foxes. But not Thunder's day in the second match, as this is chipped back over the bowler's head by Glenn. This will be the winning runs. Down towards the boundary, and probably fitting that Glenn hits it for 4 to win the game. The Blaze finishing on 120 for 7 in pursuit of that 118 to win. So 3 wickets remaining for the Blaze to get over the line. It feels like a narrow-ish victory, doesn't it? But actually, in truth, I think, Faith, the better team, the stronger team across the piece won the match.
Yeah, I think, we're almost slightly generous there, Scott, with 5 overs still remaining in the game. But there were moments, actually, it's fair to say, that the Thunder did kind of put some pressure on, did try and challenge and put in some good aspects of a performance there. But in the end, quite a comfortable win from the Blaze, undefeated so far in both competitions, and going really well. And they'll fancy themselves to continue this momentum. Commiserations to the Thunder, but there's another game coming up really soon, where they have another opportunity to turn things around. At home again, there's going to be a good crowd. These people, I would be downstairs if I wasn't up here in the commentary box. We love to see the Thunder. They're a really well-supported team, and that's another advantage they can take into the next game, that they're at home with their supporters who will always stand behind them, and nobody more than the Thunder will be trying to figure out what's not quite worked out this season. They'll be desperately trying to work things out. They had a great pre-season, they went on tour, they really kind of bonded and worked together as a squad. It's not like, even though there's some new players in, they've been playing with each other, they get on well with each other, and we know that they can perform. So today, not to be.
I guess Paul Houghton is back alongside me, that it comes with the bat, doesn't it? It's where it starts. It's just basically not enough runs on the board there.
Yeah, you need a total. They didn't get off to a great start with losing a couple of wickets up top, and obviously some of their stronger players. So I think it was obviously hard to get a total of any worth. They fought well with the ball, I thought, at times, especially in the middle period. Got back in. I think the Blaze, were positive all the way through. Understood they were trying to, probably boost their net run rate once they got to a total. Kept being positive, but I think there's stark difference in how. The body language of both teams and how confident they are with bat and ball in hand. The Thunder look like a team who haven't won a game. They look a little bit lack of confidence and fluidity in their play. The Blaze look like a team, that was mentioned. They all want to contribute. They all want to bowl. They all want to bat. They all want to, they run around. They look good. So, the Thunder need a win to get their season going. I would say they look like they got another opportunity quite quickly. But and they've got some really high-quality cricketers, the Thunder, but they do look shy of confidence.
And just to finally wrap it up, we started with the first game, the men's fixture. They'll come into their game on Saturday evening against the Notts Outlaws, Paul, and they'll be absolutely flying, won't they?
Yeah, they are. They're men are an incredible lineup, an incredible team. They've been fortunate, as Mark mentioned before, that some of the IPL teams or their players that have played for the IPL teams have not sort of gone through, and they've got a couple of guys back early, and they're playing, and Lancashire assembled this squad. They've always competed. They've always done really well. I can't remember the last time when a Lancashire side didn't qualify in the North Group. Another stat for you to pull out for next time. But Lancashire are going to be there. They're about. Notts are also a formidable T20 team. That should be a cracker Saturday night here at Old Trafford. Probably on the same wicket. I would have thought another cracking wicket. That will be a real cracker. Notts and Lancs are always wonderful games. So let's see how they go. But Lancashire looked really strong tonight.
Okay, thanks Paul. Thanks Faith as well. Thanks for Keaton and for Alex, who joined us a little bit earlier on, and for Kevin Howells as well. Another T20 doubleheader for you on Saturday, starting at 2:30 with the women's match, followed by the men from 6:30 on Saturday evening. Victory for the men today, a defeat for the women. The Thunder losing this game by 3 wickets here at Emirates Old Trafford.
Disappointing afternoon in the end for the Lancashire Thunder. It was the Blaze who managed to get a win by 3 wickets. It was a strange sort of a game. They never really managed to get really a thorough grip of the neck of the game in many ways. Mel's been here watching with me throughout the afternoon. Mel, it's a strange kind of a game, wasn't it? But we knew, didn't we, that as soon as Tammy Beaumont came out, thrashing the ball all over the place like she was going to have, then it was going to be an uphill struggle, wasn't it?
And that was the difference, really, that Tammy Beaumont innings at the start. It was a funny chase when you talk about a funny game, because at one point early on there, when you saw Tammy Beaumont and Nat Silverbrunt blazing away, I thought, gosh, this is going to be over very quickly. But there was that little period from the 10th over, this mini collapse where they lost 4 wickets for 10 runs, and you thought, hang on here.
We were all wondering, can they?
Yeah, it was interesting, but in the end, the experience of Sarah Glenn shone through, and she got them home. But I guess the Thunder can take something out of that. In the end, you sort of wish Sophie Eccleston was excellent in her 4 overs, and that's one of those things where you think, oh gosh, if she wasn't bowled out, maybe something spectacular could be on the cards. She's just that good. But yeah, in the end, they were safely home, but a few jitters in there maybe give the Lancashire Thunder a few things to work with.
Yeah, 2 wickets apiece for Sophie Eccleston and Fee Morris. So there is the bedrock there, isn't there, of a good bowling attack?
Oh, absolutely. And I think I feel really bad because I just want to say, yes, I did big up Mahika Gaur. There's no such thing as a commentator's curse. It does not exist. I don't have the power. So, but, she's only going to get better, and that will be something she'll learn from today. Obviously getting carted around a little bit, but that's okay. She's still only a very young teenager.
By some of the best players in the world, that's what forget.
Absolutely.
It'll be a huge learning curve for her.
There's a lot of stuff there to work with, so hopefully they can get it together at some point soon this season.
17 years of age, she's got the world at her feet, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of her in the not too distant future. Overall, your general thoughts? There are some positives that we can take from this game, and hopefully Thunder will be able to take that into the next one.
Absolutely. You just hope to see that with their batting, that was a difficulty for them first. None of them able to go much beyond a start, and you have to again give some credit to the bowling for that as well. But if they can get themselves into a position where they've got something to defend, that's a really tough thing to go out and defend a score like that today. But put it together and be able to just at least give themselves a chance by getting some runs on the board if they're batting first, and get a bit of a get a bit of a wriggle in this competition because there's a lot of other good teams.
They certainly need to. Mel, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it. My thanks as well to Keaton Jennings, who was with us throughout the day as well. We've had one win, we've had one defeat. It was an 8-wicket win for the men earlier in the day, but a 3-wicket loss for the women later on as the Blaze beat the Thunder. But don't forget, loads more coming up over the next few days. We'll be back again here on Saturday. We've got another doubleheader here at Emirates Old Trafford. There are some tickets still available if you want to go on the website, lancashirecricket.co.uk/tickets. And don't forget, the conversation still goes on our social channels as well. We're all over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're here. We'd love more of your lookalikes. We got a lot of laughs out of those throughout the day. Have you got any more that you might have people coming to just to keep us an eye out for? We'd love to know. Keep us in touch in terms of what you thought of today's action, how much you've enjoyed the experience here at the Bowl as well on the live stream as well on Lancs TV. Do keep us in touch, let us know how you feel, and we'll look forward to seeing you and speaking to you again in the very, very near future. But from me, from everybody in the Lancs TV team, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.